There we go. Now we're all set. This is, of course, I'll go ahead and lead with this, the second week of using the PC, not a Mac anymore, and so there's still some technical things that are working out. If you notice some black bars on the sides of the screen, that's because for some reason Streamlabs and OBS, which I'm using now, have different default dimensions, which I just realized right before this stream, and I didn't have time to resize everything. But hey, we got everything working enough. It'll be fine for this episode, and then as we move on, I will continue improving things. So, with that, we have a lot of announcements today, actually. All good things, but I will throw it over to the cast really quick. How are you guys doing? It's been a bit since we've done this show. Are you guys excited to get back into it?
Who are you people?
Yeah.
What's my guy's name again? Sorry, 3 weeks. It's
Seal,
forever.
like the singer?
Oh, right, of course.
Something like that. All right, let me see. I do have everybody's cameras in here correctly. I like how Jess was the one who said that she didn't know who everybody was, when of course Jess was the DM last week for our special episode. If anyone was not here for last week's episode, while we did not do minor infractions, we did do a one-shot. That is now up everywhere. I'm not going to tell you anything about it. Jess DM'd it.
And it was great.
Let me phrase it this way. There's things I could say. I'm choosing not to. I'm choosing to let you guys figure it out for yourself. I also say this on camera because of Jake, who I know you mentioned before we went live. You have not watched it yet. So I'm curious to hear your reactions when that inevitably happens. I think it will be very
Probably
funny.
tomorrow.
Probably tomorrow. Now, I will try to make all this stuff fairly quick because I know everyone's probably anxious to get into the episode. While I'm saying these announcements, everyone think of who's going to do the recap because I know it's going to be a big one. But we do have a few announcements today. All of them good, some of them very exciting, actually. I think I'll start with like least exciting and then go up to most exciting. The least exciting one is that I'm going to start streaming more again. I know this channel has basically become the D&Dorks channel for the last several months, but I do technically do other things on this channel, and that is going to start up Monday at, I believe, 7 p.m. Central Time. Now that I have better tech, I've done like a little rebrand of my Twitch stuff. You'll get to see more details for that on Monday, but streams are going to start on this channel being Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Monday and Wednesday being just me, and then Friday being D&Dorks as usual. So more details about that as it comes, but the other announcements are D&Dorks related, so we'll get onto those. The second one is technically something that I should have mentioned last week, but did forget about. So we're going to start pushing it a little bit harder this week. Some of you may have already seen this on the D&Dorks TikTok, but we are trying to get people to nominate us for the Crit Awards, which is something that Momo found a couple weeks back. It is a tabletop RPG award show. There are a ton of different categories. We have some specifics that we're going for, which I have a list of that I'm pulling up on my phone that I'll talk about in a second. But the nominations are up now until I believe May 1st, if memory serves. I have it up on my my computer, actually. Let's see. Yes. May 31st. So there's a lot more time than I thought. But you guys can go on and you can nominate any tabletop RPG creators in like 30 or something different categories. The first phase of voting is from April 1st to May 31st. And then after May 31st, there's going to be like the second phase of voting where the people who are nominated are actually going to go through and, you know, get chosen to see the final winner. Out of the many, many, many categories, there are a few that we are specifically going for, which Nathan again did a video on. The ones that we are trying for specifically are me as best DM, which other cast members insisted upon. I feel obligated to say that I did not nominate myself for best DM, but I am honored to receive that endorsement from the other cast members. Best player, you guys decide. We're not going to, pick favorites. Obviously, as a DM for the show, I'm not going to openly pick favorites, but I can say that I genuinely
You can also nominate Matt.
You actually also could nominate Nikhil. I was gonna say something real wholesome, and then you had to cut me off. But yeah, we'll just skip the wholesome part. Yeah, go nominate me again. Sure, whatever. Best player, also me. I've done some great work on the show, maybe the best work on the show. And moving on to the next category for best series. We are going to ask you to nominate Backspace, Season 3 of Symmetry. It has to be something from 2023, so Backspace is just kind of the most fitting thing for us. It was like one of the most popular things we've done. It was the culmination of a whole lot of work. You're free to nominate other things as well, but that is what we kind of just picked as something for the community to rally around. One that was not on the video, but that I am going to shout out specifically, is Schizo, who is the artist that we worked for Agents of Hades. There is a category for Best Character Artist. I have just put her links in the chat because I know that's not on a lot of our socials, but that link is there if you want to go and nominate her for her work on that. I think she did a fantastic job. I loved working with her, and I think she does deserve that award. And then the other one that we are trying to push very heavily for reasons that should be obvious is one of the musical categories. There is a category specifically for, it's such a specific thing. Best lyrical song by a musician in the TTRPG space. So we're going to nominate Nathan for Best Nerd Song. Specifically, the one that he has chosen for that is his song Summer Night in Damita, because that is most tied into the whole Calor space, which if you follow our TikToks, you know we'll be talking about more in a second. I will go ahead, for anyone who is curious, I will put the link to the Crit Awards website right in the chat. There's just a Google form that you can vote on. Also, if you just Google Crit Awards, you'll find it there. You are free to nominate anybody here. It's not like we've specifically set these things up. Nominate other creators, nominate us for categories we didn't mention, whatever you feel like. But if you want to nominate us for stuff, we would really, really, really appreciate it. Now, Calor. I mentioned it a second ago. If you don't know what Calor is and you are a fan of the show, you certainly will soon. Calor is the fantasy world of Nathan Apollo, created by him, something that I can personally say I know has occupied his brain space for many, many, many years. It is the setting for a lot of his albums and his songs, and it is the setting for our upcoming D&Dorks campaign starting next month. I believe, I don't know if this is actually in our announcement video, but I have the date. Starting, let me double check it, May 24th. We will be airing the first episode of Tales from Calor, The Golden Era. I personally can confirm that it is the highest production value the show has ever been. We are putting a lot more work into it. We have professional art. We have better editing. It's going to be fantastic. The classic cast is returning. Nathan is going to be DMing since it is his world. And it will also be Panda, Mike, Momo, and me as a player, which is very exciting for me. I always love when I get to go onto that side of the game. It is going to be a really, 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 really cool time. I personally am very excited about it. I'm also excited about it because I have been working with Nathan on it as the other resident primary DM on D&Dorks. I'm not going to tell you too many details, but I can tell you that Calor is a setting that revolves a lot around giants and their conflicts with humans. And D&D 5e doesn't have a lot of mechanics specifically for fighting giant creatures and how that would be treated differently than regular-sized creatures. So Nathan and I just made some. We have been working a lot for the past months on a whole system, a supplemental system for 5e, about fighting giants, ways that you can anchor them and pull them to the ground, literally climb up them to do critical blows in the middle of a battle. There is a lot of stuff there. Yes.
That's all.
I've been saying this. We are not professional game designers. We're trying our best, of course. But we are also, this is very exciting, going to be releasing playtesting material of this for you guys. We are very open about the fact that we are beta testing this giant system as we go. There will be, I believe the way we're going to structure it is we're going to have like a bare bones playtesting document for free. And then we're going to have a little bit more detailed one on our Patreon. There is going to be more Calor content on our Patreon, and we'll talk about that as we get closer. I think I can say this. I'll say this with the caveat that this is not have a set timeline yet. We have a lot of things that need to happen before this happens. But I can say that the ultimate goal of our beta testing this system is to release a comprehensive mechanics and character options and lore source book for Calor. That is in the pipeline. It's far down the line, but it is in the pipeline. So lots of Calor stuff coming. Keep up with all of our pages for more information on that. Got just over a month now, but we still have half of Minor Infractions to get through, and I have talked for far too long about announcements already. So let's get into today's actual episode. Last time, I was going to say last week, definitely not that. Last time was a very crazy one. Does anyone want to try their best to take a recap of episode 5? Everyone looks
I can
terrified.
give an overview.
Overview will do.
So, through a shockingly synergistic series of bullshit events, we managed to get out of the castle with some manner of documentation proving that Pine is the head of the Knights and holds a dubious amount of authority that, while not solid, also leaves a lot of room to abuse.
Did I spend any time in the last 3 weeks fleshing out that system? Who knows?
Maybe, we'll see. And we also got out with a cell phone from the surface world, presumably used to contact the US government. It specifically belonged to Valentine. And the way we got that out of their safe was through the aforementioned bullshit. As for the rest, we have a vial for Catsby. We have questions for Catsby, and as exactly what he is, why the US government is after him. And we really have to pick where we're going to stand on this, because there is the kingdom that is looking to benefit from this deal. There are the crime lords that'll probably try to get something through it. There's the US government, and then there's the body that Shepard works for, which I know I have in my notes. Yes.
I'm so proud of people for remembering, because I've only mentioned it like once, so I would not have blamed you for not.
Also, we killed Valentine.
Yeah,
we killed
I was wondering if anyone was going to mention that in the recap. I was like, you mentioned that the phone was theirs. You didn't mention that they are a burned pile of ash partially possessed by one Ratch Hatchet at this point.
I was going to say.
Yeah.
Yes. For the record, for those keeping track of what's in Ratch Hatch's pockets, he currently has scraps of Valentine and a vial of Catsby.
Just collecting bits and pieces.
As I said in the episode, that was 3 hours and 2 lifetimes prior to the end of the episode, so I am sorry I forgot. But my god, we went so far past that.
Yeah. Basically, I think it's just important to reiterate that the last 2 episodes of the campaign, I believe, were we walked into the palace and everything was normal, and then we met with the king. We killed his number 1 guy. There was a werewolf attack. We don't know what happened to the werewolf. We tried to usurp the number 1 guy's office. In doing so, we interacted with like 10 different guards. We somehow walked out with the substances from the safe in that office completely unharmed, and also Pine might now be in charge.
And I got to execute somebody in the throne room unopposed.
Yeah,
because it was ruled that they did not know who it was, which is so funny to me.
And makes enough sense that I'm going to allow it. It's so funny. I'm going to peel back the curtain and give you guys a little insight into our private cast Discord server. On the 15th of March, so actually, no, not a month ago to the day, but almost a month ago to the day, there is a message from Jake that I now have a screenshot of because I knew it was going to be relevant. It opens with to-do list of things we as a party need to do that would be very fresh in our characters' minds, but that we might forget in the span of a month. And then 6 different bullet points. So there's a lot that we need to cover. And the fun part about being a DM is that I know roughly how those all will go, but I don't have to pick priority. That's on you guys. So with that, that's on you guys. Amazingly, the overview of things that we hit there was pretty good. Valentine is dead. There was a librarian that maybe knew who Catsby was. That was maybe the one thing that wasn't mentioned.
That was another thing. Oh, CL bit a guy.
Okay,
that's also worth discussing.
Well, if we have to go over every single thing that happened in that in-game 20 seconds, we will be here in the recap for an hour. I can confirm, I as a DM, and I said this last week, but last episode, whatever. I as a DM have never seen such a short period of in-game time take so long in real time as last week, which made for a great episode and a fairly easy recap.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was some 20 seconds.
Yeah. Also, to people in chat asking if they missed the recap, you did not. We had a lot of announcements today, so if you're hopping in now because you saw my Discord announcement that I just did now, you didn't miss much. You're all good.
How do I have a ping on Discord?
I mean, dude,
Should we?
You can ping the Discord. I'm not going to stop you from ping the Discord, Jess. Go ahead.
Oh. Hey, thank you, Matt.
The Discord
I went
has
to go
been
post it on
pinged.
mine and saw that Matt already did.
I'm on top of it 10 minutes late.
So, should we just pick up walking away
Yeah.
from the castle where we left off?
What I said a second ago was, though joking, also pretty accurate. The status of your characters right now is that a whole bunch of things have just happened, and a whole bunch of things are about to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But with the way things have worked out, nothing is happening to you immediately. You guys have some level of freedom here to choose what path you want to take, and now that is in your hands.
We should try to regroup with Shepard, and the best way to do that is to go somewhere that he knows is safe, which I believe is Iggy's house.
It's true.
Where is
we-
Shepard? What happened to him? How did we get separated?
We
was-
all left the throne room for various reasons, and he was still in there as a werewolf. And then later, Matt was like, "None of you are in there, so I'm gonna roll this die to see what happens to Shepard, and you won't know
I
what
should
it was."
clarify I'm speaking as CL, who
Yes.
was kidnapped at the
Yeah.
time. Hey,
Not know.
Then
about
never
it.
what
mind.
happened to Shepard?
Oh, right, you don't even
No,
know,
he
like...
turned into a wolf.
What? Right.
He what?
He turned into a wolf, fought a bunch of guards, almost killed the king, but I don't think the king knows that that's what happened. And then
They,
we left.
Yeah,
And he left.
and
You
it was.
don't know where
I
he
think
went?
it was a good thing. Like, it wasn't like he did it on purpose, to help us.
Yeah, he even did a one-liner for it, which is
Yeah, it was kind of
Hacky.
cool.
Yeah. Do you know what a
Yeah.
German is?
Topical one-liner for a very different world.
Uh-huh.
is that that nation that invaded Moland a few years ago?
Episode's canceled. We're all going home. I think all of us are in our homes, and yet we're still all going there.
I choose to believe Jess thought of that a month ago, and it's just been like,
I
it's
sure
coming.
did. I actually said it and I was on mute and I went, I've missed my opportunity.
CL hasn't computed all of this yet.
Yeah.
CL's stuck in Moland.
Okay.
But yeah, I think our best bet
I'm
is to
sorry.
go and get some rest.
Yes, sleep.
That's a good...
There are so many pieces in the air. If they hit us, they'll hit us whether we're lying down or standing up.
That's a good question. Just for my personal reference, which is such a scary thing for a DM to ask, but I promise it's just out of genuine curiosity. Like, what are your characters looking like right now, like resource-wise? I don't think a lot of people took damage, but like spell slots, stuff. How are you guys doing?
I'm honestly pretty fine.
Yeah, I think everyone's
Yeah.
actually pretty good. Mentally, you
I
all
used a
probably
lot of
need rest.
spells.
Yeah,
I
you
used a lot.
were in the more
Mm.
combat
Like
section.
Yeah.
Oh, and you
Super
did all the
Iggy-
illusion
myself,
stuff too,
yeah.
didn't you? So yeah.
Plus, Iggy's the one that like actually took out Valentine. Jess showed up to just do
Oh.
a one-shot blow to kill them as an execution, but Iggy like
That's
fought
true.
him.
Yeah, that's the only spell I used, and that was the only combat I was involved in. I am an old
Combat.
woman, and I do not fight.
Okay,
I've
so
had-
with
I wouldn't mind sleeping.
with half decent resources, but again, a lot of mental stress, I would imagine. You guys all head back to Iggy's place. Everything seems fairly normal. It is probably worth noting that there was some level of oversight of Iggy's house. We know that there was a spy of Valentine's there. But who knows how much that matters right now. So, there you
Yeah,
all
what's
go.
Valentine gonna do? Tell somebody?
It's D&D. People can come back from the dead. But yeah, you guys get there with no trouble. There does not seem to be any sort of ambush or plan awaiting you. Everything's going fine for now.
Okay, well, I think we should rest up and we should touch bases and make sure everyone knows everything that happened. A member of our party didn't know that somebody in another member was a werewolf. Is there any other important information that we need to disclose? Like- Maybe what these rectangle things we've been fighting over were?
Shepard said they were like communication devices, and I think they have to do with up there. But he didn't really finish like telling me about it or figuring out how to use the one I already had before he went all, furry. So hopefully he comes
Well,
back.
Well,
Fine.
we have one now.
As
Yeah.
as CL says this, suddenly, with no warning, much to your surprise, I would imagine, given your inexperience with these devices, the small box in your hand vibrates and lights up.
Ooh.
Oh man, the ringtone's not on.
Okay, well,
You
if
don't
you
get
look
to
at
hear
it,
a
if
song
you look at
from
it
the
in
real
detail, I
world.
guess I should say, you see like a little bar come up across the screen with what looks like some sort of text on it. However, it is not, well, about half of it is in a language that you cannot read. The first part of this text you can read. I'll spare everybody the trying to describe text in a fantasy way for all of this, just for the sake of time. But the sender of this text to Valentine's phone is listed simply as topside asshole. But the message itself is not in a language that you know.
I love the idea that there's like an underground keyboard on this version of an iPhone.
You know, I do have a power of my own. If something is underwater, I can understand its language. So we just need to.
Yeah, that's interesting. Can't you also read any written text?
I can, yeah.
What? Wait, hold on.
that-
Jeff,
As long
what
as-
power?
As long as
It's underwater.
This is surely a warlock thing, but like what ability is so specific?
oceanic soul.
That's I genuinely did not know that was ability. And then, okay, well, sure, go ahead.
You just got to put the phone in water and then put it in rice after, hopefully.
Well, we don't know about that.
I will add one
we
more
don't actually have
thing about this this little message that you have seen. From just the way that this little screen is arranged, seems like there's a lot of these messages. And from just like you really have no way to know this, but there's a lot of these that seem to have got unanswered.
Oh, actually, hold on. My secretary knows this language. That's how we were able to communicate with Shepard. Let's just go to her.
Right.
On the off chance that water is not good for the.
Can we do that in the morning?
Yeah, if you guys want to wait until I actually kind of assumed that this was happening in the morning. It's up to you guys.
Sure
Whichever.
if we had to,
I will be nice as a DM, and I will tell you it will not matter for the story whether you do it at night or in the morning. It is your call.
I think it's much funnier to think we all went back to his house, went to bed, woke up, are having a nice conversation around like some cereal in the morning, recapping what we're doing.
Yeah, I like that. That's actually really good. We're just hanging
the
out.
imagery that we've got. Someone
Mushroom
put like a
O's.
fish in a bowl for Catsby on the ground. He's munching on it.
Oh, should I was right? We do have a vial.
You
Yeah,
do,
I have a
and
vial.
it is worth noting Catsby's not mentioned it.
Hey, sport. Old sport.
I've never felt more threatened by you than I do in this moment.
I am approaching you in what I am intending to be a non-threatening way.
You're not doing a good
To
job
say
of it, there,
that-
pal.
You have been uncharacteristically quiet, considering we have one of your vials that you have been very gung-ho about.
Oh,
And you've been acting very weird. Did something happen? Are you scared? What's the deal?
give me an insight check preemptively here. And everyone who's watching this conversation, I assume this is all happening in the same room, can give me an insight check.
Let me familiarize myself with my stats.
16,
I
Matthew.
know.
21.
Ooh, fancy.
6.
6, 21, 16.
Mine is really interested in the cereal.
I'm very hungry. My raisin bran in the morning has been my tradition.
It's mushroom bran.
Oh, that's right, mushroom bran.
Ew. Jake, what was your insight if you rolled one? That was the only one I didn't hear. 8. Okay, so CL was the highest, which is fitting, I suppose. Catsby is clearly, like very obviously hoping that you would not bring this up, which is extremely odd. Catsby kind of looks up from his food, which actually, he's a statue, doesn't eat. But Catsby looks up from the food that he has been sort of staring at. And just kind of says, "Oh yeah, we did get one of those things, didn't we? It was a stressful day for everybody. I didn't want to make any more complications. I know you guys have been a little on edge about giving me those things. It's I just didn't want to add too much." This kind of continues as Catsby clearly doesn't know what to say and just sort of rambles until someone cuts him off.
All right. Dude.
Never say that again.
I'm trying to, as they say, level with you and say that, no, you're not doing that. Because if anything, our formation of trust has been on the foundation that we're out in it for ourselves. Yes? Self-preservation. You want your things, we want our things. So, for the survival and well-being of all of us, surely you can share what you know. Right, Catsby?
Yeah. That's just... give me a persuasion check.
CL's favorite stat.
Yeah.
Just do what I tell you, and don't be weird.
CL says dude again.
Persuasion.
It's a disadvantage on persuasion forever.
13.
A 13? Alright, I actually will roll opposed for that in this case. Alright, Catsby does not seem incredibly convinced by CL, which is not surprising, but does acquiesce at least a little, because I don't know, I just got a sort of bad feeling when we were getting that thing out of there. I don't know what it is. I can't put my paw on it, but something doesn't feel
So you
right.
remembered something, didn't you?
I remember that, I don't know, something just doesn't seem right about the whole thing. Again, from the 21, I'll let that carry over. He's again clearly kind of hiding something here.
Yeah.
Does that mean you don't want the vial?
Oh, I do want the vial. It's just I might want the vial at a safe distance.
Are you going to explode, Catsby?
No, not that. I don't. God, I hope not. I don't think so. Is that a possibility? I don't think I'm gonna explode. No, that's no. Don't say.
For
things
what
like that.
reason? Then distance from us or distance from the vial? Because I hate to break it to you, but the way the vial works is it goes into you, so you can't get very much fucking distance.
Well, you could give me the vial, I guess, and then I could go and then I could take it somewhere else and then do it just in case anything happens.
Is it dangerous? Could we weaponize you and have you go absorb the vial near somebody we don't like?
You jumped to egregious violence so fast.
Hein says after just killing the person we thought we didn't like.
Yeah, I guess,
Find new enemies.
I guess I shouldn't be surprised.
Catsby Bob,
Actually,
Adam.
this is pretty on brand for everybody here. Maybe it's possible. Depends on what you call weaponizing. I mean, it's a whole thing. It's a complicated series of events that would go on. I think if my admittedly scattered memory is correct.
Are you worried you're gonna hurt us?
Give me a persuasion check with advantage, because Catsby does like you the most.
Hmm. Persuasion. 11.
11. Catsby pauses for a second and kind of goes like, "Well, I just don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I guess it's certainly possible. This has all been a series of very complicated events, and since I don't have my entire memories back, who knows what's going to happen? People have been calling me a weapon, and who knows? Maybe they're right."
Love this fucking cat.
You know you're part of our team, right?
Catsby pauses at that, sort of like genuinely not. Give me another insight check. I know I'm having a lot of those sort of things, but this is a case in which I think they're very, very relevant.
17.
17. That's enough. That is not something Catsby's ever heard before, and he's not sure how to react to it.
You don't need to keep a secret or be weird about it, right? Like, you're part of our team. Your goals are our goals. We're going to make sure you get what you want. And then when this is done, you have a choice on where to go. We're not going to send you with Shepard unless you want to go with Shepard, right? Like, if you want to stay here, if you want to go somewhere else, if you want to go to whatever's up top, that's your choice. You're part of our team. We're in this together.
I suppose those are very kind words, Pine. I do appreciate the sentiment. If you all insist, I can take it, and we'll see what happens. I suppose.
I cast mage armor on myself and step closer to Catsby and say, "We can handle ourselves."
You putting on a suit of armor doesn't exactly raise my confidence, but it's a wise choice. I'm not going to blame you for it.
I'm saying that we're not gonna run out on you.
Catsby nods and gives a very nervous smile, but it does smile. The sentiment is appreciated. I assume with that you are giving him the vial. I don't remember who exactly has it, but
I think
I
Ratchet
have
can,
it.
right?
I don't think it
I have
should
it.
matter as long as somebody gives it.
I'll give it to him.
All right. You give Catsby the vial, either pouring it on the ground or opening it, whichever. Doesn't really matter once again. But Catsby, with some hesitation, reaches out and taps it with his paw. And as you've seen, it happened several times before. The liquid gold gets absorbed into Catsby's form. And then, nothing. There's that very slight ripple that usually happens, but nothing really incredibly notable. You can see some, slight sort of shifts in the liquid form as maybe whatever was absorbed is getting integrated.
It doesn't get bigger this time.
Does not get bigger this time. At least not yet.
How do you feel?
How do you feel?
Catsby kind of just looks around a little bit confused and then just kind of starts to talk. Everyone make an Arcana check.
Oh,
Ooh, okay. My Arcana.
That's not my
15.
best stat anyway.
30-20.
30-20. Okay.
7.
4 plus whatever my skill in that is. Why is everything in a different place on the iPad? Oh God.
Probably.
I also rolled a 4.
7 total.
7 total. Okay, that
Hey.
actually makes a lot of sense. Because the more I think about this, I probably should have had Iggy roll with advantage because Iggy is the one who has been the most familiar with Catsby's magic. Actually, I believe the only party member to be a part or a conduit for it. So, all of you
Shepherd.
feel something happen. None of you can really put your exact finger on it. It's not something really physical. It's not, like a shift in the air or the space around you. It's not anything like time or anything like that. But you just get a very powerful and notable sense that something has changed. And that sense does not go away. Iggy, you do immediately recognize this as the same sort of sensation that comes with Catsby's magic, which I've never really actively described before, probably because you've had it in such small doses that you never really were able to put a finger on it. But now experiencing it in a way that's slightly more lingering, you can put some more words to the feeling. That sort of sense that you've gotten whenever using Catsby's magic, things go right to an extent, you try moves, they work out better. Things happen in illogical ways to sort of suit your needs. There's more to it that you can definitely tell. It's not sort of luck magic. It's more complex than that. But that sense is now everywhere. Less in a way that like something has filled the space around you, more that the space has been altered. Things were one way, Catsby touched the last gold, things are now a different way. And that is the only real measurable change that that happens when this.
That was the last piece?
That was I think so, right? That was the math on it? I believe that was
How many did he need?
I think it was 4, right? See, here's the thing. I need you guys to tell me that. There's a lot. This is halfway through the show.
Mhm.
We got 1 from the corpse, 2 from Dr.
Yeah.
Clock,
2 from Clock,
and 1 from. Yeah, that's 4. Well, we should be good.
Yeah, I believe this is the last one. Because if I remember correctly, the visualization was the paw, right? The little paw pads. And now the 4 paw pads are all there.
He was missing his toe beans.
Yeah. But yeah, after this palpable sense of because someone said he needed 3, and I believe that came after the first one was gotten. So yes, that was the last one. That's what I thought. I was scared that I got the numbers wrong for a second there. But yeah, after Catsby kind of starts to speak and then this shift happens, Catsby kind of trails off very quickly, sort of shaking his little head as if he's like forgotten something, just like kind of lost his train of thought, and just kind of looks around and goes, guess it was nothing? Maybe?
Okay.
Do you remember anything?
Go ahead.
Do you remember anything more?
It always takes a bit to integrate the new memories out of the bits, but it's a little bit complicated. There's definitely a lot of things that are going on as we're.
Do I have to insight check, or is he bullshitting?
I will go ahead and say that stuttering that I was doing was very intentional. It does not necessarily read in character like he's like lying. It reads like almost something is like going wrong in a sense. Like there's so much that is happening that it's sort of overloading and messing with his ability to speak in some capacity. At least temporarily. You don't know how long that would last. But this thing kind of goes on for another minute or 2.
Well, do you need anything from us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh. You see, that's why I didn't want to. See, the memories are starting to piece together now. That's why I didn't want the. I should probably go. Catsby kind of starts backing towards the nearest exit, be that a window, a door, whatever. Just kind of slowly going away.
You're free to go if you want.
No, you're not. We're not done.
No, you're not. Can Ratch move to pick him up?
Yeah, that'll be opposed dexterity.
I think we should really let him go.
Clearly a very valuable asset and not a thread that we can have running around like the wolf we apparently left.
That is 17 for Dex.
17. With surprising dexterity for your large minotaur body, you quickly dive out of the chair or whatever you were sitting in and try to swoop up Catsby. And when you kind of reach down with your large hand to grab at this cat backing away, Cat's just not there. And looking around, you see that Catsby is now on the open windowsill. Whether it was open a minute ago or not, you don't remember, but it's certainly open now, and Catsby is there. With a kind of solemn, almost scared glance around the room, he raises a paw and gives you just a little salute before dashing off. Notably, that feeling, that change, does not go away when Catsby does.
Ooh.
We may have made a mistake.
I don't think
the cat should be gone.
I don't think we could have stopped him. And we don't want to fight Catsby.
No, but
I don't.
he did seem to be cautious about getting the stuff, the last piece.
Should we go try to find him? Make sure he's okay? I don't
No,
think...
he'll avoid us. We have the texts. We know where to go for that. If we can glean any information that and possibly be sure where Catsby is going, it's a far better use of our time.
I guess I just don't like... What? Yes? What?
This is, did you guys feel that?
Feel what?
I don't really know how to describe it. Things just feel different.
Good different or bad different?
I reach in my pocket and I pull out a coin and I flip it in the air and I catch it. Yell, heads or tails?
Heads.
Tails. Fuck you.
I don't know. So me as a player, I don't know. You're gonna have to tell me what it is, Matt.
You know what? Roll a d20, just flat.
I'm enraptured by everything that's happening right now.
This is a great experiment.
Look, it's well established that I like my cosmic existential weirdness in DMing, and I get to do that now.
I rolled a 5.
I'm enraptured by this method of testing it.
You rolled a 5. Okay, let me think.
Yeah.
What a 5? What would a 5? I think what was said. One person said heads and one person said tails, right?
But
CL said tails. Ratch said heads.
You said CL. Ratch said tails.
CL said tails.
He asked CL to call it. Ratch just also said heads.
Okay. Sorry, all of this matters, which is probably confusing you guys even more. So Ratch said heads, CL said tails, Iggy said CL call it. Pine, do you have any stake in what happens here? Do you say anything? Do you have a reaction?
I'm just watching. I think I wasn't asked, you know?
Okay.
I just want to know what the response is.
The coin lands on heads.
Flip it again.
Flip it again?
And catch it. Yeah.
Do you have people call it, or do you just... Oh, you had Ratch do it. Okay.
Yeah, Ratch. What is it?
Heads.
You want to roll a d20 again?
Roll a d20.
Oh, this is interesting.
13.
This is so fascinating.
13? Yeah, it lands on heads.
The fuck?
For all you guys know, I'm just using a basic system of 50-50 and it's not connected. That's
Yeah,
the most fun thing about
now
this.
you tell me to call it.
No.
But again, catch it.
How many?
Tails.
Okay, so is this the whole episode is just a series of A/B tests to figure out if this is relevant to the plot or not?
It's a series of A/B tests where me and CL don't change our answers.
Okay.
We just
CL is-
You guys know that classic puzzle where there are two guards, one always tells the truth, one always lies? What if it was that, but less entertaining for everyone involved?
Okay, well,
CL is just
kill one
testing if
guard
it's
and ask
against
if the other
him
one's dead.
specifically.
I feel like this is not going to help us because I just rolled a 4 asking CL to call.
And CL
Okay,
says
you
tails.
you want to know the
thing.
funniest thing? You've actually kind of, pardon my language, not that this show ever cares, bumblefucked your way into a solution. So it's becoming very clear, I think, to everyone in the room at this point that Iggy is using a very logical method to try and figure out if this is relevant. The nature of that logical method, I don't think is clear to anyone else, but I think it can be gathered by CL, Ratch, and Pine that something mathematical is happening here. Iggy, you flip this coin into the air. It doesn't come down. No, you look up, it's gone. You don't know where that coin went.
I swear to whatever deity there is, if the rule is fuck me specifically, because that is what it's feeling like.
Well, I'm out of ideas.
I think we should
That
leave
entire
this
thing
place.
stopped me.
Good.
Phone.
Good.
Text. Do.
Yes.
Flip
Also-
the phone.
Well, so before this all happened, so do you guys remember that old earbog mage that we talked to at the castle?
Mhm.
she seemed to she seemed to like recognize Catsby or
Yeah.
something. Like
True.
maybe we should
Definitely
go talk,
familiar.
maybe we should go talk to her at some
We
point. I
should.
mean, I don't know if that's like what we should do right now, but I feel like something obviously I mean, he booked it out of here. I don't know. That's my only idea.
I think we should definitely circle back to the cat.
Mhm.
Let's first figure out the text situation. And
Yeah.
then we'll stop by the castle, see what we can find out. Pine might be in charge. That seems pretty easy to get the mage to help us again.
Yeah. Also, like, Shepard didn't show up last night, right?
I did tell them to
No, Shepard did not
bring
show
Shepard.
up to Iggy's place.
I did tell them to bring Shepard to me if they caught him, since I have some kind of authority now.
That is true.
So
I will also note, did you tell any of the guards where you were going?
Didn't we get an office?
That actually was brought up
Your
last.
office.
I do remember that the thought of getting an office was like that was one of the reasons you went back to Valentine's office in the first place, and then so much nonsense happened that I think it was just forgotten. But maybe yes.
Well, what it was we specifically needed to talk about the scheme that CL had found, and so we went to get an office, and we took Valentine's office, and then we stole contraband, so we left Valentine's office.
Yeah.
Though, it should be noted, one of us has an office. There's a teeny weeny lightning hole in it.
I was about to say, it is. You have 70% of an office.
Yeah, I say we go back to the castle then and see if we can find our furry friend.
All right, back to the castle it is. Now,
this way, mammals. Sorry.
Pine's got a new energy since the last time we played this. Speaking of Pine, on the way there, the phone lights up like a couple more times. It seems that the frequency of these messages is increasing somewhat, and while you do not speak you can't read the language that these messages are coming through here, you can understand the pretty universal sign that the symbols are getting like bigger. So yeah. So the idea of urgency, someone on the other end is pissed for whatever reason. We should stop and get
question. When we leave the house, does the feeling consist, or is it God?
That's a great question. It does persist. Also, I want to point out, someone said they have 2 phones in the chat. I believe that Shepard has the first one.
Shepard has the one that was
Shepard has the one that was given to Pine. Pine has the one that was taken illegally.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, let's help get Janine on the way to the castle so we can read.
Yes.
Guys think it's dangerous to carry this thing with us?
What else would we do with it?
But I mean, like, I don't know, like certain magical items can be detected by their owners. I don't really know what this kind of magic is, but
Pine blew up its owner.
Well,
yeah,
that's true.
No, I mean whoever's sending messages to it,
we haven't necessarily tested whether this is magic, have we?
Oh wait, I also have.
I just don't. Maybe we should just like bury it in a hole and come back to it.
If the illicit person who is involved in this conspiracy would like to come to us, that's easier. Then we don't need to get the text translated.
Is it?
That's true. Also, I should mention, I forgot that I can in fact read this because I have Eyes of the Runekeeper as well.
I thought I saw the expression of "I've forgotten" ability on your face a second ago.
I don't actually have to dunk it in water to read it. Do you mind if I
wait? So also the entire back and forth translation thing with Shepard was unnecessary?
I think it's only written.
Yeah, it's only written.
Yeah. Actually, wait, isn't that partly how you... I don't know. But yeah.
I wasn't wearing my reading glasses.
Yeah, I was about to say, that was part... So Pine was holding the phone upside down this whole time.
No, here we go. No, it's
Okay.
because the text is bigger now.
Oh, you're right.
You can read it.
You're right. You can read the all caps because Pine's old. Perfect. Great job, Jake.
Oh shit! I
It's
do
not
recognize
perfect,
that
but I can
language.
read this.
Good. All right, cool.
Christ.
So I actually really love this. I think that this is fantastic because with the way that text work in the real world and also the real world equivalent of this universe, the most recent one is the one that's going to show up first, right? You can scroll through the many previous ones, but the most recent one is going to show up first, and the most recent one, in emphatic all caps, says you have 2 hours.
It says we have 2 hours.
Right. To do what?
Or
To do.
Scrolling back through these messages a little bit, I will not go and read through all of them, seeing as there are a lot. Most of the recent ones after that are a lot of yelling about where the person on the other end, presumably Valentine, is. Some more coherent than others. However, I will go ahead and just summarize some of the earlier ones for you. Essentially, whoever had the other phone on the end of this text conversation seems to have had some sort of, not necessarily like meeting, or some sort of interaction with a Valentine clone wherever they are, that then out of nowhere froze and disintegrated. That kicked off a chain of a lot of fail-safes starting to go into motion. The nature of those fail-safes is not described in the text, but they pretty clearly know that something has gone wrong. And that's about all that you can gather from there. If you want, if you have more specific questions, feel free to ask. The idea here is that there's too many texts to summarize, so I'm not going to, but if you have questions, I can enlighten with any information you may know.
Are we able to message back? Do we know the... Sorry, go ahead.
We can't even open anything, I don't think. That was a whole issue with
this one is similarly passcoded, yeah.
Is there anything we can glean from it to assume this person's position in their wider organization, presumably the U.S. government or whatever body is chasing Catsby? Would we have to make a roll to see if there are any details we can glean?
That's probably going to be tough, but I'll give you an investigation check if you want.
Sure. Ah, fuck. The old college try. Investigation. Yeah, that's a 12. So
12.
No.
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of get what you would assume, which is they probably have some level of influence if they're in direct communication with somebody in Spondylix. But these messages are more sent out of urgency rather than any casual information. Since you did roll an investigation check and people in chat are talking about it, just for fun, this is not lore affecting, so if you don't know what this means, don't worry about it. I'll just confirm for the bit that it is an Eternitech phone.
Oh,
Nice.
Cool.
Do they use any names? Texts that we can identify?
If, and not the name of the person on the other end, there are probably several messages to the effect of Valentine, you piece of shit, where are you? But nothing that would be of use to you.
Well, I think it's
They
very important.
They mentioned Narthex.
Oh, that's a good question. Would they? I actually do think it is possible that they would mention Narthex. That's a great question.
Let's read that text specifically.
Yeah, I will say, again, there's probably multiple messages. Text to the effect of, like, did Narthex get you? Something of the idea, like, confirming this is not Narthex, this is someone in opposition to Narthex. And also, presumably, they know that Narthex is to some extent involved. For what
So it's someone who doesn't like Shepard and doesn't like Valentine. This is my favorite person we've dealt with so far.
So in
Well-
character, we all trust the U.S. government now. Is it?
I just don't trust
You
Shepard.
don't
I don't even think I
trust
know what the U.S. government is, to be fully honest. I don't
No,
think it's come up.
you-
You definitely
The
don't.
click
What
with
kind
a
of
quick
king is a
like
president?
the quick like perusal of the text. Do they mention anything to the effect of the asset or anything we could infer was Catsby?
Let me think. I'm gonna say no. There are messages that talk about like your part of the plan or your role in the plan. There is nothing that you could lock down as positively or negatively Catsby. Definitely could be,
Okay.
but nothing definitive.
Can we review where we got the vials from? We got one from Valentine. We got two from Clock.
And
Were
one
those
from the
always
corpse.
in Clock's possession? God, the fucking balloons!
balloons!
Let me do fucking numbers!
Why is it a peace sign that triggers? That doesn't even make any sense.
Wait, is it really a peace sign?
It's a
Yeah,
valuable
no,
part of
dude,
my
yeah.
testicular lexicon, and I can't fucking live without it.
It's a thing that happens on Android, isn't it?
No,
Are you
it's
sure,
iPhone.
Mike?
Here's the thing about the
No,
balloons.
it's
This is
iPhone.
a sidebar. It would be such a cool feature if it wasn't triggered off a peace sign. If it was triggered off something specific that you could do, like with
Is it any
intent,
number?
that would be great. But no,
It's gotta
why is it
be-
this.
It's gotta be victory, right? For some reason, victory equal balloons?
Victory. Do any
Why
other
not a
signs do it?
thumbs
Like
up?
a thumbs
If it was
up?
a thumbs
or-
up for balloons,
A
that
thumbs up
would
makes a
be like
thumbs up.
great.
What?
That's such a good feature implemented
I
so
don't know.
poorly.
It would be a great feature if I knew how the fuck to turn it off.
It'd be great for the audio listeners.
Balloons
For
happen
the
when I
audio
do.
listeners, yeah,
certain
balloons.
gestures.
balloons just
They'll get
appear
it.
on Mike's
Also,
screen when he makes
I
gestures.
listened to this on Spotify today, and all of our faces are on it, which I did not know you could do on Spotify.
Yeah, we posted
Yeah,
this
you can.
video on Spotify. It's just if people want to listen to it while they're driving, you better not be
That's
doing it
what I
on
did.
video.
That's what I did. I watched those. We were
All
good.
right, Nikhil's not a responsible driver. That's good to know.
I was trying to switch it to port. Did we know?
Yeah, we had a point that was being made.
Clock's possession were always Clock's, because we just know that he had two. And where did we get the fourth from again?
From the corpse.
Yeah,
From the
Right.
court?
So the corpse was one of
there was one
one of
left
what's
at the
it-
murder
uh,
scene. Clock
yeah.
had come into
And it
possession
was-
of two. Valentine had one.
So we
And
know
then,
each of the.
technically, if you want to count like the liquid gold as a thing, Catsby himself is also another piece of this liquid gold that was out in the world.
Yeah, so we know each of the factions had a piece of it in their possession. And the way this is being talked about, I mean, like, this isn't a totally meta sense because CL wouldn't necessarily, but I mean, I guess you would understand giving each party a piece of the weapon as some kind of deal, as some kind of balance.
The Leonin didn't have any, right? Or was it
This
his
was the
guy?
one on
The
the
that
court.
guard was
guy.
his.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The
his
guard was
guy.
the Leonin's. So I guess we could.
you-
I guess this isn't necessarily a new revelation, but like all three of the factions, like Valentine had this deal. All three of the factions had vials and knew of this. So for what party was Valentine actually communicating on behalf of? I guess is one thing.
That's a good question.
Because the government had this deal, but clearly each member of the crime syndicate also has some idea of what is going on.
And I also do think it's worth noting, I believe that I had Valentine say some things that were not super, like, that were very self-centered, right? Not necessarily as, like, for the good of the whole Green Rock gang. So who knows how much everybody knows about the situation.
True.
Why don't we ask everybody?
There's a lot of reasons you don't come out and ask crime lords things.
It's worked fine
What
for
is-
us so far.
Yeah, and actually, this is not the
I
time.
personally hate talking to crime lords and wish that we would do it less, but it has proved effective. Pretty consistent. I've been proven wrong every time I say we should not be negotiating with them.
There is a crime lord that you have not spoken to yet, who you do have a positive connection to, because there are technically 4, right? There's
Positive?
Valentine, who
Dead.
is no longer in the picture. Clock, you did blow up Clock's base. I would not
He
necessarily
sent
go to
a
Clock.
weird chimera after us. That's not on us.
He blew up his own base too.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Technically Ozzy at the top of the pyramid, who no one has any connection to yet, at least.
I would love to talk to
and
Ozzy.
Elgon, who you have not met directly, but you are in good with some of Elgon's boys because of the whole.
Oh my
incident.
god!
Some of us are.
Wait, Return of Batsby. Let's go get him.
Yeah, you have
Let's have him
Batsby,
introduce
and
the
then you
lead.
also have Javis. Both Batsby and Javis are at least from the little bit that you've interacted with them, seem to be on your side.
I did save him from falling off a roof.
Did save him from falling off a roof. You still have to meet Triffin.
I
reference, but I think one I've explained already.
So do we not go to the castle? Because I feel like we should go pick up Shepard and then go meet Elgon.
Like I said, this episode is very. The beginning of this episode is very self-driven. You guys can pick whichever you want. I kind of have plans in place.
We got a
for
lot
each
of
of
loose
them.
ends.
We should go to the castle. Yeah, we should go to the castle because we could. 2 things. I just want to do 2 things. Let me express that with my fucking hands. We should go to the castle so we can both get Shepard and ask the mage, because at least those are the same place. We could do them at the. Yep.
Yeah, let's just go to the goddamn castle. Come on.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Yeah.
Okay, castle. So let's see. It has been conservatively 13 hours since a pretty major incident happened at this castle.
Okay, but like, how much do they care? Because the guy waved us
I
away
wasn't
at
going
the
to say
end.
they were
The
going to
last
stop
one.
you. You didn't let me finish. I was just going to say it's chaotic over there. I was going to
They're
say that there are
fine.
guards running around and everything, but if you guys go up and show Pine's shockingly legitimate papers of authority, you're going to get in. If you want it to be a challenge, Nikhil, I'm more than happy to make you do some rolls.
But do we have papers? Because I know one of Jake's points was get papers.
Pines has something that she's been showing people. I think they're not the most legitimate in the world, but there is something.
It's just
I got something written up.
I'm a knight.
Pine has some manner of document from the king, and we also found that book detailing what knights actually have. And from what I remember, the system was essentially knights would have certain duties, almost like members of a cabinet, but there are no knights. And there's no, like, you're the knight of blah, blah, blah. It's, if you're a knight and you're good at this, you have responsibility over this. And it's all distributed across the knights. Pine's the only knight we know of. Pine might be able to do anything.
We can legally argue. The way that the old system worked was that if a knight in a certain position left that position for any reason, their position would be temporarily allocated to a different knight until it was filled. Right now, Pine is the only one, which by the not very well written systems that they were operating on does mean Pine has the authority of the entire council.
That sounds a lot like a job I used to have, where people kept quitting and I kept getting more responsibilities without getting any more pay.
And at the end, you ruled the country?
I still think that's one of my funniest and most comedically believable bits of improv world building I've ever done, because it's stupid, but it's stupid in a way that works, and I'm proud of it.
Oh, it feels so right.
Yeah.
But yeah, Pine just can kind of do whatever. But basically, I can actually summarize this very, very nicely. Pine can do whatever the fuck she wants until someone tries to stop her. If people start questioning this power, it probably won't hold up to scrutiny, but as long as Pine can remain confident enough to not get questioned just sort of in one-to-one situations, you can keep that going. You can ride that train till it stops.
Or just start killing everyone who questions you.
That's an alternative.
This is out of character. Out of character statements.
Carte blanche to do anything.
The only time I've killed somebody was when I was ordered to. The king said kill them, and I assumed it was a singular them.
You did attempt to kill the same person, granted, but before the king's order as well. You just failed.
You know, what matters, close only counts in government work and hand grenades or whatever the hell the saying is.
Close only
Shall
counts
we
in government
find-
work and hand grenades is definitely not it, but I do like that version more.
I don't know what the saying is.
Close only counts in government. That's so okay. Anyway, you get all of this like several minute discussion to say you are able to get into the castle again and can move around within there at your leisure.
Perhaps we should find the mage and send some goons to find the wolf.
Yeah.
2 birds, 1 stone.
Maybe don't call him the wolf unless they know. Can I just grab a random guard? Like, just flag a guard down?
Yep, go for it.
Was anybody arrested in the castle yesterday?
I don't believe so. There was a
No
whole
prisoners?
incident, but I don't think there were any arrests. I could be wrong.
Interesting. Did a naked man turn up and need clothes?
Mine's just
How do you know about that?
Mine's
saw
gonna
it in a
stumble
dream.
upon the male
My-
brothel rig.
My personal
operating outside the
business is
castle.
not affiliated with any of the government capacity of the king or my position.
Are we, I think we might be talking about 2 different things.
The guards.
Your
are
personal
going
business is yours.
These guards suck, guys. I had them smoking weed on the job. Now it's this. They're awful.
Now they're not though. Now they're not though. Those are sober guards.
That is true.
You know what? This is fair. I can ask somebody else. You enjoy your day.
Very shaken from this chance encounter, this guard walks off.
Poor guard just got randomly outed. Imagine someone like, hey, by the way, I have more power than you. You know anything about naked men?
I did not. Hold on.
Did anyone go to prison yesterday? Was anyone naked?
I just tried to find Shepard. I get it. Naked men are great. We're looking for one too. There's no judgment here, guard. Come on.
I'm trying to ask about the naked hairy man wearing handcuffs, and you're making it weird, okay?
Did you guys know
Why
I
is he
actually hate this show? Remember, guys, we asked people to nominate us for an award today.
No, you asked people to nominate the other guys for an award. We're the B team.
Hey,
Alright,
right.
I'm so hard I unplugged my
Sorry,
own
that's
headphones.
true.
Okay.
Sorry, Mike, but the rest of us are fine.
Point is, you can go to another guard. They will tell you much the same thing. No one is
librarian.
aware of an arrest.
All right. Yeah, let's go find the librarian then.
okay.
All right. So you guys head to the library. For the benefit of the doubt and to save some time, I will say that the professor is there, or at least shows up at a reasonable enough time. Just seems like a normal day for her. Going studying some books, maybe preparing a lesson plan or 2. Nothing really notable. Sitting down at a table across the room. On the 2nd floor in case CL wants to Scrabble up there again.
Nah, we're not quite in Scrabble mode yet. We're having a chiller day than yesterday.
Jesus Christ.
We'll use the
It's a
stairs.
chiller day than exactly 1 day ago. I've grown as a man.
I think since I'm the one who showed her Catsby originally, I
Mhm.
approach her and I say, "Hey, excuse me."
She looks up. At this point, she does recognize you. This is like the 3rd or 4th time that she's been approached by this group. It's, you again. Hello. What can I do for you today? More
Iggy.
work.
I'm Iggy. I don't think I've ever asked your name. I'm sorry about that.
Well, that's fine. Nice to meet
Books
you,
me.
Iggy. My name is. Hold on.
Books me.
Hold on. It's such a cute name.
You know what? Screw it. Hold on. That sounds like it could be a Furbolg name. 1 word. Hold on. Professor, hold on.
Hold on.
Professor Hold On.
Uh,
I like
all right.
that a lot, actually. That's kind of funny.
Nice to
If
nice
it's
to
all the same
officially
to you,
meet ya.
Professor, we're actually quite pressed for time. So
I just so do you remember? I'm sure you do. You remember that golden cat that I showed you yesterday?
Yes, of course, I do remember that. That was quite the interesting artifact that you had in your
Do
possession.
you know anything about it?
What? This is going to take a roll, but I don't know what role. No, you don't need to make a persuasion check there. She already knows that you have it. She kind of goes, well, I do know the basics, of course, of the sort of principles that it operates on.
Could you I would like to I'm kind of a student of magic in my own right, and I'd like to understand it a little bit better. I mean, I know we don't have a lot of time, but if you could try to share with me what you can,
Oh, well, that's
I'd
not really
I'd love to
something on
know.
a student's level, I'm afraid. Even for a mage such as myself, things of that nature were really only theory. In all honesty, I'm quite old, and my eyesight and magical senses might be going a little bit. I could have simply misidentified it.
I have a feeling it's exactly what you thought it was. 5 people are dead over this thing, and now it's
we're
complete.
past 5.
Have you said 5 people are dead to this particular woman? You've said it to so many people.
No,
I
no,
didn't
I
think
have
so.
not.
Yeah, I'm sorry. What?
A lot of
She
people
said-
have died.
She said 5 people have died. But my count, it might be more.
How
It's true.
long
It is
have
actually
you-
more than 5 now.
How long have you been in possession of this artifact?
Been what, 3 days?
3
Couple days. Yeah.
3 days. Well,
Yeah.
if magic of that nature was lethal at all, I would think it would take far longer to actually kill.
Well, it wasn't.
The cat. Yeah.
The cat didn't do the killing, but also the cat wasn't like whole until right now. So not operating at peak efficiency.
I'm not entirely sure what you mean, but if the magical pieces of this artifact were scattered, I do suppose that could dampen its effects. Well, that's one possibility, of course.
What are those
Matt.
effects?
Hmm?
What are
I was
those
gonna say
effects?
too-
Oh,
sorry.
sorry.
No,
Waited
do
the
we-
exact right time. That was awesome.
Sorry. Do we still feel that sense that we felt that things changed?
Yeah.
Like, do we still feel weird?
that has
Okay.
not gone away.
Do you
Do you feel weird, ma'am?
You're having the worst
you like
conversation with that
tune into us with your magical senses?
What?
Something changed for us recently.
That's a sexual preposition in this world. If I heard one,
no. Like,
you want to tune in?
I feel like a mage like yourself might be able to pick up on what I'm picking up on here. Like, I'm a little less trained than you are, but something's going on.
She picks up her reading glasses off of the table and slides them onto her face. At which point, like, a comedically large series of runes appear around each eye, making just like a nice round eyeglass shape. She kind of peers at you. We'll make an Arcana check for that. I'll actually do it with advantage, which is great because she did get a 2 on that first roll, and the second one is a nat 1.
Oh,
That's unfortunate for her.
helpful NPCs.
Yeah.
Campaign.
She kind of looks and goes, well, we are in a library full of magical tomes and such. You have many magical items on your person, as do I. The senses are a bit muddled, especially for something that I'm not intimately familiar with.
Well,
I mean,
It did balance the nat 20 she got to identify Catsby in the first place, I guess.
yeah.
identify Catsby. Can't tell us about Catsby.
No, she
Just
can't
gonna
tell
keep that
anything about whatever magic thing affected you guys,
Yeah.
or that you sensed.
I mean, really, just anything you can tell us about him will help us quite a bit.
Make me a persuasion check.
15?
15 is good enough. Professor Hold On kind of pauses for a second, holds on, if you will. And then her eyes open slightly wider. She goes, You actually don't know, do you? You don't know the nature of that artifact. How on earth did you come into possession of something of that nature without knowing what it is? And where is it now?
It's a very good question.
Yeah.
It has gone away.
I'm hoping that what you can tell us might help us with our whole predicament here.
Yeah, if you know where like golden cats like to hang out and spend their day, it'd be very helpful information. Any leads at all, truly.
Well, I can tell you that the fact that that artifact takes the form of a cat does not seem, at least in my experience, to be, well, experience theory, to be something related to its specific magical identity. It's likely just the form that whatever its creator chose for it.
I disagree because it was scared of a dog.
Well, I mean that it was built to be cat-like, but that's not necessarily a necessity of the magic. It could have been built as something else. It could have been built as a bird or a dog or a cow or some sort of insect or an inanimate object or an animate object.
The possibilities of life are endless and beautiful. What was the point of the artifact in that case, please?
Well, it's a siphon.
A what?
A what?
A siphon.
Oh,
Or
You're really quite
For
inexperienced.
magic,
in
for
this.
blood, for water, what a siphon for what?
Luck?
It seemed magical in some level of nature, some siphon of magic. If I had to be specific, then take my opinion with a grain of salt here. From the sense I got on it, the magical structure, it sort of seems to be some sort of siphon of potential.
go on.
Well, I'm afraid that is all I can give you at the moment. I would need to study it in more detail. From, again, the magical signatures, I can tell what it has similarities to, make comparisons. There's similarities to magic, to time, and all of these things combine in such a way that it seems to siphon potential. In what way, I could not say.
Okay.
Thank you.
You should find
I want
that
to pull a
artifact.
book from the
Yeah.
shelf.
we're going to look for it. We're
Can
working
I pull a
on
book
it.
from the shelf?
Just any random book.
A random book?
Yeah.
I'm going to judge roughly how thick it is so that the number I say will make sense. I throw it off the balcony to the first floor and say page 79 to 80.
Okay. And then I assume you're gonna go in and check to see how that
Yeah,
Could
see
I-
where it opened to. Yeah.
give me a D20.
The book also
That's a
disappears.
2.
That's a 2.
The book also disappears. Come
The
on.
book does not disappear. But it is not on the pages that you have said. Seems unrelated. Just it's kind of fallen open next to something, but not in any way that you can find a pattern in.
Yeah, that was rude. What the hell?
Yes, please don't throw
I'm-
books, young man.
I'm testing, and
You can. I'm a
If they're all
professor. I'm
looking
quite
at me, they'll
familiar
see
with
it.
testing, and I've never had any of my students throw a book off a balcony. I've
Instead
seen
of
them
clambering-
do it, but they weren't supposed to.
instead of clambering, CL is going to try to jump up to the second floor railing, presumably too tall for him. Basically, to replicate, can we break physics in the same way Catsby seemed to?
Give me a dexterity check. I'll give you athletics or acrobatics, just normal for a jump. No, that's a normal roll for a jump.
I got a nat 20.
Okay, yeah, so you do, with a mighty leap, clamber on there. You hang on and just sort of pull yourself up. Doesn't really seem to be necessarily supernatural. Seems to have been done on your own power. Maybe the most unhelpful nat 20 in D&D history. That actually gave you less information.
So CL She was like, "Oh, it's a siphon of potential." And CL was like, "Yeet, 79." Jumps down, jumps back up, and is like, "All right."
CL, do you have something against the staircases in the library?
I don't know. I just feel like it'll help somehow. I mean, potential could mean luck. It could mean possibility. It could mean finding the bare minimum of what is allowable by the laws of physics and eking through that way.
Would it mean that? Is that a definition of potential?
Again,
A siphon of
my
potential would presumably draw
information was
all
vague.
potential potentials within it.
Not
My
potential.
information was vague. I don't take it as entirely gospel. Just
We
as
did have a
starting
coin
point.
disappear.
I'm very appreciative of everything that you've told us. I mean,
I do.
we
hope-
went from having like half a clue to having. I mean, you've definitely helped. So thank you.
Pine brought up a good point. Hypothetically, if we were to flip a coin and the coin never came down, what would you say that it was a representative of?
Well, under what context were you flipping said coin?
In the air.
Repeatedly?
Actually, hold on. Can I pull a coin and just...
At saying repeatedly, Professor Hold On kind of looks over and goes, for what purpose specifically? Why were you were just sitting there flipping a coin?
I had, I kind of think with my gut. Like, I knew there was something going on. I couldn't put it into words like you have for us. But it felt like something. So I don't know. I just started flipping a coin and asking my friends here to call if it was going to be heads or tails. And they did that a couple times. And then last time, the coin was gone.
Thinking about it, that does make sense. So this whole group here was simply sitting around calling out heads and tails and flipping a coin with a vague, if any, goal in sight?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Basically.
Well, the goal was to get it right.
Does not seem like that situation had much potential to go anywhere. Perhaps when all potential was drained, the situation was, well, drained.
Interesting.
Then
Could it drain a person?
You've said people have died. I don't know if they're related to that, but...
No, people have died because people were trying to get a hold of the cat. If a
The cat
person
that
didn't have
is
much potential...
in some sense related to this. The cat is, of course, the cause.
Yeah, but this is a new thing.
I don't know the ins and outs of this. If it might be able to drain people.
Okay.
Would it?
So, hey, question. Is there anything else that you're going to be able to tell us if we continue asking you questions?
Are you helpful, lady? At all?
I don't want you to run out of potential in this situation and disappear. I'm making sure we're not about to accidentally vanish you.
Jess and Pine have just raised a very good point, hilariously. This Professor Hold On kind of pauses there, goes, well, I suppose I do have... I hope I've been able to elucidate your situation a little bit. I have a class that I need to be teaching. And quickly starts picking up her papers and filing them away before very fast shuffling off without a second look towards you. Just a call back over her shoulder to find that cat.
Find the cat. But, so earlier, the coin landed on heads twice, right? Or did it go heads, tails?
I think it went heads.
Heads.
I'm pretty sure it was heads. Yeah.
Does anyone have the means to, say, magically mark a coin? Like, in which, by which I mean mark, like, if it went somewhere, you would know where it went.
Out where it goes. Yeah.
I
don't think I do.
That's a good line of thinking. I actually don't know what D&D resource could do that. But I will go ahead and tell you that that's a creative enough solution that I like enough that I will allow you to, if you can give me a convincing reason why you could use a spell to do that, even if it's not necessarily rules as written, I will be open to that, as I kind of always am, but I'll explicitly say it in this case.
Let me tell you about the applications of the chill touch cantrip.
The coin will be cold and somewhere else.
I have half an idea.
Go.
That's all we need.
I have part of a plan.
So my blades I can summon to my hand from wherever they are.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a way we could, instead of a coin, use one of my swords and get it to poof away, and then I could?
I mean, we could just call whether
I will have a connection to it. I might be able to figure out where
we
it
can
is.
just call what side the sword it'll land up on.
Yeah, heads or tails on the sword.
Yeah,
Like
swords have
point
2
or
distinct points.
hilt.
Yeah, point or hilt.
But it also could land on the side.
Point, hilt, or side. We do it 3 times.
There's actually a way to do this, and for the sake of both saying it so that the audience knows what I'm thinking, but also not having to have this debate on a live show, the easiest way that you can flip something like this is to just toss it pick a point. Like say Iggy tosses it in the air in front of him, whether the hilt or the point, which is pointing more towards Iggy. That's the easiest way to do a rough 50-50 on a flat
we're gonna play
object. It's
spin
not
the bottle.
Perfect. Yeah, essentially doing a spin the bottle
Yeah.
kind of thing on it is one of the best ways to do that. Just like toss it in the air so that it spins. Maybe don't start throwing swords in the library, but
Yeah. Let's go in the other room. Then
Yeah.
we can
Is
try
there
this.
a sword-friendly room nearby?
I mean, we can go in the bong room. They're not using it.
We could go
True.
back to Valentine's office. Still
True.
not use.
Just for
could
note,
get
by
mine
the
I
on
way,
wouldn't go
since
there after what we had yesterday.
Since I have been kind of thinking about this and there was some travel time, Pine, you do get a text that says it probably specifically it's 1 period fucking period hour period.
Getting worrisome.
Should we find that guard who seemed to know what this phone was?
The one that
We should
wanted
try to
the phone
wrap
that
up
we
one
took
thing
it
that we're
before he
doing.
could get it?
Yeah.
I would say we've done a lot of splitting as a party, but this feels like we're close enough to the same place and little enough can go wrong that it might be good to split this task into 2 teams and do them at the same time.
I'm not going to stop you. This group has been good about handling party splits. This also, I don't think, would be anything where you need to take your headphones off, so I'm fine with it.
Sounds good to me.
All right.
Okay.
Sure.
All right, who's doing what?
I will go with, I assume, Pine to get the guard.
Sounds good. I'll let you 2
I'll stay
disappear
with
with
Iggy and the
swords.
swords.
All right.
Okay, let's see. Which should we do first? I think the swords will be the quicker of the 2.
Cut to 2 hours later when we decide where the sword is.
The sword will be the quicker of the 2, right? It actually should be very fast unless you guys have like a very specific reaction that you want to do to this. So, Iggy, CL, you start just kind of screwing around with this sword. Just for a general sense of something, both of you give me an Arcana check. Again, Iggy, do this with advantage. This is still something that you're more experienced in personally than anybody else in the party.
I got an 18.
Oh, good.
I think that actually is higher than what I rolled. Let's see. Arcana.
Damn.
I got a 15.
A 15. Okay, so, CL, now that you have some rough understanding of what kind of magic is going on, something that has to do with potential, you are able to sense a little bit more of the nature of this strange aura that is permeating everything. The aura actually feels a little bit stronger as you start doing this than it did previously. In fact, with an 18, I'll go ahead and give you, it's the amplification of this aura kind of starts going up when the party splits. And as you guys start messing around with this sword, basically just standing in place and tossing something into the air and seeing where it lands and then doing that again, after you do this a couple of times, same thing happens that happened to the coin. It's just sort of not there anymore. Notably, when that happens, the aura sort of lets back up a little bit.
And is there anything more we notice about the disappearance?
Nothing that you notice about the disappearance. Iggy, are you just going to try to
I was going to say,
resummon
do
it
I
back?
have... Well, not yet. I was going to
Not
say,
yet,
do I have
okay.
any sort of sense as to where it is in relation to me? Or if it has ceased to exist, or what?
What exactly do you use to summon your sword?
So
What?
I don't exactly know. So it's a feature of Eldritch Knight, where I am bonded to two weapons. So I would say I'm magically bonded to these
Okay.
swords, and I can summon them to my hand with a thought. But as far as what that means lore wise in our world, I don't.
Yeah, my
really
question
explore
was
it,
more like, is this a spell that you use to just summon something, or are you
Yeah, it's like a
bonded
trait
to
that
the
I have.
weapon
It's not-
specifically? Okay,
yeah.
yeah. If you're bonded to the weapon specifically, then you probably do have some sense. Let me think about how I should describe this. Because this is actually going to be really interesting with the way that that this is described. Okay, you know what? This is going to maybe be a little bit of a weird way to handle this, but I think that from a presentation standpoint, it's going to be the best. Jake, describe roughly what your magic swords or your sense of them is like normally. Because I think the way I can give you the best information on this is like contrasting it to normal, you know? So just can be a very simple description. Just however Iggy senses these normally, and then I will sort of contrast that with what's happening now. I hope that makes sense.
I would say that in the same way that you feel like a reassuring weight at your hip when you have like a weapon on you, I feel like that is a mental sense that he constantly has when they are like nearby or, you know, in their scabbard or wherever else. It's like I don't necessarily feel their presence physically. I mean, I do, but it's an additional, like, I am aware that it is there and ready at a thought where I just have to like grab it with my mind and then it's there.
Interesting. Okay.
So that's how I would describe it, I guess.
With the way that you described that, I'm going to say that somewhat paradoxically, that feeling actually kind of amplifies rather than going away. As if the sword has not just, it has become that sort of mental sense of you can have a weapon. It is not a weapon that you have, it is a weapon that you can have. In a sense, it is crystallized into something of even more primal potential than it was previously, as weirdly overdramatic of a statement as that is. However, as that happens, you can feel that potential is going away. This sort of energy that you sense off your sword that has been unleashed from whatever process has happened to it is dispersing, it is draining, and it is going up. And you feel like it, in a physical sense, it is going up.
Okay. I summon it back to my hand.
This is going to be fun. CL and Iggy, make me a constitution check.
Ooh, interesting.
You summon back a hippopotamus. Save or check, man.
All right, did you just save or check?
Save is fine. Save is fine. Should have said save.
Well, either way, it's +0. Luckily, I got an 18 on the die.
I have a 15.
15? Both of those are perfectly fine. Iggy, rather than your sword just sort of like appearing in your hand as it typically does, you feel an active resistance on the other side, as if something is trying to sort of suck that sword away from you, or more accurately, whatever that sword has become. But thanks to factors that you don't necessarily know, maybe just your personal connection with that sword, your pull is able to overtake whatever is on the other side. However, the process that led to this sort of shift in the sword has already happened. And therefore, rather than the same blade coming back to your hand, with a burst of concussive force so strong that it almost knocks both of you off your feet, despite both of you managing to hold your ground thanks to that Constitution save, your sword returns to you in the same liquid gold state as Catsby.
Ooh.
Wait, is Catsby a being of pure potential?
Uh,
That's fun.
wait, oh. Is Catsby
Well-
Schrodinger's cat?
I've done that in D&D before.
We have done that.
So
Yeah.
maybe not. Who knows?
I mean, that's a cat.
It's almost like we can't know until we look in the metaphorical bar.
Okay, so okay.
There's more.
Sorry.
There's 4.5 more episodes. But I also
into-
have
back
been
into
proven
character.
to like that existentialism before. Anyway,
And it stays in that gold form?
yeah.
Okay. And so if I dismiss it normally, like I normally do, like back to my scabbard, not into the abyss, I would just dismiss it and pull it back into my hand like really quick because it's still gold.
It stays gold. You can make an Arcana check if you want to see a little bit more about maybe what happened to it.
13.
13. I'll honestly give it to you. What has basically happened to this sword for you analyzing the magical potential of it? It was broken down into something. Presumably it was broken down into potential in some capacity, though you don't know exactly how that works mechanically. While you were able to summon it back thanks to your magical ability and connection to the blade, it was disassembled, and while you can maybe put it back in the same shape thanks to your magical connection, you can't make it what it was again. It got shattered, and this is what it is now.
Okay.
Yay.
I
How did Catsby augment your blade before? Because you did stretchy stuff, right?
yeah, he kind of gooped on it.
Yeah, the liquid gold energy that is Catsby extended onto the blade and changed its form temporarily.
Well, yeah, I guess what I'm asking is, does this sword now have the same capabilities it did when Catsby did his thing?
I take an apple out of my pack and throw it in the air and try to slice it with the gold sword.
Just give me a normal attack check to see if you can hit it.
What's the AC of an apple?
Let's say
12?
7. It's not going to be high. It's an apple.
Well,
Yeah, you slash clean through the apple. The sword seems to work fine. Does not seem to work in any notably different way, at least not from what you've been able to tell so far.
interesting.
Hmm.
Well, that was unexpected. The one thing I did
Very.
perceive though is I normally I can just kind of think about it and my sword's there, but I had to struggle to get this back. Felt like I was going up, like, to the surface. And the Professor Hold On said Gatsby was a siphon. Felt like it was being sucked up. So I don't know if that means the Catsby's up there or if there's some bigger siphon or what. This is so far above my.
We need to know, I suppose, who Catsby was for.
Mhm.
Because the way I feel like this would necessarily work is, once potential is drained, it goes into wherever your sword went and is sent to the surface. Perhaps, could that work as a way of transferring resources from the underground to above the ground? The underground can use them to the point where they are useful, and then above ground somehow gets their share of things?
I'm going to have you make a history check really quick, because there's a piece of information there that is notable that you missed, but I'm going to have you make a history check for reminding you to be an evil DM.
My history check was 11. But
Sure.
since I'm saying it out loud, maybe Iggy could make a history
I
check
got a
too?
12.
12. You know what?
Which
Screw
is
it.
pretty good for.
Now this is a situation where it has been like a month. I could be slightly wrong here, but I will be a kind DM for once. Don't believe it was ever said that material resources were what was being transferred.
Ooh.
Mhm.
Then fuck. Labor?
Potential.
Magic.
Potential.
Force.
Sorry, I'm not here.
Fine,
You
what are you
hear a
still doing
voice.
here? Aren't you supposed to be looking for Shepard?
The
I got very
potential
excited.
is
This
like-
is pretty cool.
CL
I-
hears Pine's voice from afar, ringing in his
Hey,
mind.
hey, if I as a DM
My-
am making a mystery so interesting that people who aren't there are chiming in, I'm doing something right, so I'll take it.
Yep.
My
Sorry.
suspicion is potential is both thematic and the mechanical way that the thing becomes transported to the underground. It's just what's this meant to be enacted upon? Because we've only done it with a coin and a sword.
I think. Okay, I'm gonna move things along for the sake of time. Do you guys have anything else you
Yes.
want to do in this moment, or should we split over to the
No.
other side? Okay, you guys think
Yeah, let's do it.
we're gonna split over to the other side of the party. It has been like an hour 45, so I think we're gonna take our break real quick. And then we will come back. I just want to say one thing before we do, and this is again mostly for the audience, but one thing that I'm sitting here just really enjoying the absolute hell out of is that the fact that like this is connected to the Agents of Hades universe. This is the fact that all of this ties in. It makes me so happy because you guys are going to get to learn so much about the superhero universe that I've tossed around in my head for literally years through my weird D&D show. Anyway, you'll hear about that later. We are going to be back in a couple of minutes. We'll do our announcements again quicker than we did before, and then we will get on to the rest of the episode. So don't go anywhere. Do I have a Be Right Back screen open or set up on this? I can go to the starting soon screen and type Be Right Back onto it. So that's what I'll do. We will see you in a couple of minutes. Hello, everybody. We are back for the second half of the episode. We are going to run through announcements again really quickly. It will not take as long as the beginning, I promise, but we have, like 3 quick things to go over. First off, I am going to start up my personal streams again on Monday. That will also be on this channel, which is technically my Twitch channel, but has only been used for D&Dorks for the last several months. I will be streaming on Mondays and Wednesdays, and then D&Dorks on Fridays. So there will be 3 streams on this channel, 2 of which will be me personally doing various stuff, and then Fridays will still be D&Dorks. Second announcement, the Crit Awards. If you saw our TikTok about this a couple days ago, you know that we are asking people to nominate us for the 2024 Crit Awards, which is a TTRPG award show. I went over all the categories that we're like specifically gunning for at the beginning of the episode. They are also mentioned in the TikTok that was posted on our account. I also added the artist for Agents of Hades, whose links I will go ahead and put in the chat because they are not anywhere else. Not that. That's the wrong link. That is the right link. But I will not go over all those categories one by one. Again, you can go and watch the TikTok for those, or just nominate us for whatever. Any nomination is appreciated. And then the third announcement is that the next D&Dorks campaign, the highest production value the show has ever been, has been officially announced. It is Tales from Calor, the Golden Era, DM'd by Nathan, tying in with Nathan's music, a return to the Symmetry cast, that being Nathan as DM, Mike, Panda, Momo, and then still me, except I will be a player, not a DM. The first episode of that will be on the 24th of May, so we still got a bit to prepare for that. One thing I actually didn't mention at the beginning, I'll throw in some extra information here. We have recorded a sort of like prologue. I think we're going to do a couple more episodes of this too. But we have recorded a prologue episode that's set 10 years? Mike might remember the date. I don't remember the date. Is it 10 years before the main campaign? Something like
Roughly. Yes, I believe
roughly
so.
10 years.
No,
before...
roughly 12, I think,
Okay,
the way
okay.
timeline stuff works out. But those will become known in specific once we do the thing.
Sometime, there is a prologue episode for this that will deal with basically the first time that these characters meet each other, because one thing that will be interesting about this campaign, characters will have actually known each other for a while in universe, which you'll see how that works out when the campaign starts. But if you want to see how these characters met, those sort of optional, not really a prequel because we did record it first, but background episodes will be available on our Patreon. They're going to be the first sort of Patreon exclusive content, or actually like episodes that we've done. The first one of those is, I believe, going to go up on May 10th, so a little bit before the actual show begins. And this is something that Nathan and I just talked about casually, so the exact details of this might change. But the current plan is that we're going to upload the first 30 minutes of that on YouTube for free as a little bit of a teaser thing. And then if you go and pay for the Patreon, you'll get the full episode and all of our extra Patreon content, of which there is a lot. Those episodes are optional. You do not have to watch them to understand the story of the main campaign. That's why they're over a decade apart. But it is just fun extra content if you want to support us and get some cool stuff for it. More details about that will come out as we get closer. But that is all the announcements that I have. People remind me if I'm forgetting anything, but I think I covered everything. We'll run over those again real quick at the end. And let's get back into the episode with Ratch and Pine. You two are going to look for the specific guard to try and get information on the phone, correct? Was that
Yeah, the head guard management.
Okay, cool. Give me... Let's see. Give me an investigation check.
Oh, okay.
Viable in this case.
Skills.
Oh, as that's happening, also somebody asks, I don't know if you're reading chat, do we know how long Calor will be? I believe that Nathan had, again, unscripted show, still a month out. I'm not the DM, so take all of this information with a grain of salt, but I am working on the back end for it with mechanics, and the last I heard from Nathan was in the range of 8 to 12 episodes. So it will be like one of our usual... our longer campaigns. It is not a mini series, it is a full series, but it's not going to be like a super extended thing. Anyway, what was that roll?
Dirty 20.
Whoa.
Okay, yeah, Pine. Especially, I mean, honestly, even Hatchet, with a 15, you probably could have done it as well, but with a dirty 20, you're going to be able to do this very fast. You do find this guard fairly easily. I'm actually going to, you know what? I think that's, where's my D20? I moved it there it is. Okay. This guard does not see you approach, which is notable because when this guard does see you at the point where it's kind of, you're too close for him to sort of dodge you, clearly does not look happy to see you. But since you do have authority in some strange, convoluted sense, kind of nods and acknowledges you begrudgingly. I believe you are muted.
That's because I was coughing a second ago and I forgot to unmute it.
Well, thank you for that.
Gotcha. So, yesterday you were looking for a communications device. And you seem to have not found it, or you did find it and then lost it somehow?
Yes, that was... I don't remember the voice I did for this guy. It was a month ago. Whatever.
You nailed it.
I used the same voice for all the guards. Yes, that was something that did happen.
If we found it and somebody seemed to be impatient and saying we only had an hour left, I imagine you would be able to help us figure out what that means and how to defuse whatever situation may have happened.
What a non-specific but incredibly specific question to ask. This guard kind of pauses for a second, goes, Don't do that. Did you find it? Is there an hour left till something? You can just say it at this point.
I'm going to just hand him the phone.
Yeah, okay.
Can you read this? Do you need me to read it to you? I know it's a weird language.
He kind of takes a look at it. He goes, like bits and pieces. I wasn't fluent in it, but I was, I knew enough about what was going on. I wasn't the main guy, but I was in on it. It seems like something's going to happen in, 45 minutes now? Something like that. That's not good.
should we contact that person and say, hey, sorry you've been out of contact. Things have been absolutely insane here.
I mean, I'm trying. Okay, what is this guard relationship to the whole situation? Does this guard doesn't necessarily know that you killed Valentine, right?
Nobody knows we killed Valentine. They don't think Valentine's dead.
No,
I'm-
I
well,
did say Valentine was dead.
It also
Oh, that's
has
true.
it also has been like a decent chunk of time, and this guy was presumably someone working pretty directly under them. So
I didn't
they
say we killed Valentine.
might
though.
know at this point, yeah, but they do not know that that you killed Valentine specifically. That is the important bit of information here. This guy kind of looks at it and goes, yeah, I mean, I guess we probably should. I haven't contacted him before, but Valentine's not contacting them.
Do you know the code to unlock it?
Let's see. Would this guy know the code to unlock it?
He knows some of the language.
Yeah,
No. I think amazingly, I think he probably would.
Nice.
Yeah. So, this guy he has the phone already. You see him tap some things on the screen, and then it opens up. He taps another couple things. You see, presumably whatever the messenger app is, Snapchat or something. I don't know. It's not Snapchat. People are gonna take it
Wait,
too
it
seriously.
should be Snapchat. That's so funny.
I'll make a. No, I won't. I was gonna say
It
I'll
wouldn't
my
make
own
sense
joke.
for the previews thing we've been getting.
No,
It'd
it
be
doesn't
so
make-
funny if this was all talked
It is
about through
Snapchat.
Snapchat.
Snapchat exists in this universe, but it works entirely differently. Regardless, opens up the messaging app that is that? Never mind.
Messages.
Yeah, I just said it weird. You're throwing me off my game. Opens up the messenger. You can see that there is a keyboard on this thing that seems to have been modified to fit your native language. Doesn't have the best UI on it. It doesn't look like it was modified great, but it is usable. This guard kind of scrolls through the messages here. He goes like, "What are we? This was never my era. I mean, are we? You're not suggesting we want to pretend to be Valentine? That seems like a bad idea.
No,
Are we?
No, that'd be dishonest.
Absolutely not. No deceit. Just ask what it is that they want, and if we can get an extension, possibly.
We could even tell them Valentine is dead, and we're trying our best to pick up the pace.
Tick tick tick.
Yeah, and that you can go ahead and write that he was a terrible person, and they probably didn't want to be dealing with him in the first place.
The text takes a minute to send as it's very long. You told this guy a whole lot of things to say, and it does seem like he is saying all of them.
I'm not contradicting you on that one.
Yeah. So what you would see in this scenario is like a whole paragraph of largely just kind of rambling run-on sentences, and then there's a brief pause, and then just no capitalization, not even at the front, all lowercase letters. What? And then more typing from the other side. So this guard kind of they're writing back, just kind of. Maybe we shouldn't have said all of that.
Okay, but we did ask what they wanted, right? So is he saying what he wants in 45 minutes?
Yeah, he is typing.
And just gonna read it.
I guess. After another moment,
I think this was a good plan.
The message comes back in. Now this is the fun part where the DM has to parse all of the nonsense that you just said. So you said Valentine was dead. You said that you guys, I don't believe you identified yourself, but you said that you were trying to, quote, pick up the pace.
Mm-hmm.
And you
we
were
want to know
asking,
what it was and if we can get an extension.
Yeah, what?
And also that Valentine's not a good guy and you shouldn't have worked with him to begin with.
Yeah, so it was Valentine's dead. We're trying to pick up the slack. What do you want? Can we take a bit longer to get it? Also, your previous contact sucked, and it's probably better that he's dead.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, cool. I'm glad that we were able to summarize that very nicely. So at this point, what? Okay, I have to think for a second about how this person would respond to this in universe. I think the first is like, Dad, there's so much information there that it is actually kind of difficult for me to come up with a coherent response. I think the person is just kind of like what would be the word? What would be the specific word that is used here? Because this is one of those like mystery elements where this kind of thing matters, and I'm blanking on the word that I'm going for here. So I'm gonna say, like your piece of the conduit. Where is it?
Is that, I assume, related to us?
That is the response. Presumably, that is what the person wants. Your piece of the conduit.
Well, I think we just lost the conduit.
Yeah. If you could tell them the cat ran away, but we're working on it.
Ooh. Now that's an
Hold on.
interesting- You stopping?
Yeah. Do we want? I don't know that we want to say that.
It's the truth.
It is the truth, but we don't know who we're talking to.
I love what's happening.
He's our friend.
Handshakes
Love
from
what's
Jake and
happening.
Mike. For the audio listeners, the violent rejection that this pitch has gotten from both Jake and Mike, neither of whom can do anything about it in Canada, is very funny.
I made myself dizzy.
It's the truth, Biden. We
But
tell the
Catsby is
truth.
our friend, and this truth might put Catsby in danger.
I see no reason to suspect that. He just wants to know where he is.
This is an outside force that wanted to come over and take over down here? And you trust a random invading government?
Well, no, but I don't trust this government either. And this guy doesn't like Valentine, nor Shepard. So far, my interest aligns with
The
him.
guard catches up and goes,
I-
enemy of my enemy. I mean,
I also disliked both of them. Trust me. Guard.
I do
thought they were a
trust you.
dickhead, but you know,
Mhm. And
Money's
these people may not have liked Valentine, but they were willingly working with Valentine.
We were willingly working with Valentine.
I have a very good response to that, and I cannot say it in this moment.
what? I'm so okay. I don't know what I act. Say it. I don't know
Lore
what you're meaning,
access.
Jess.
Were we really willingly working with Valentine?
We were working with the criminal syndicate that Valentine was a part of, that I said we should not be doing, and now we're in this mess. All of this was something I said we should not do.
Please, just don't tell them that Catsby ran away.
Fine.
Wait,
Well,
you
we're
guys
just. I'm
were,
not
you
given any
guys-
power to do anything.
you
So
guys
this
weren't
guy.
part of. Then how did you know?
Hey,
Wait, if you're not part of our gang, and you knew that Valentine's dead, there's
I'm
only
gonna
one
cast
other way.
person on him real quick.
I will. What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna cast charm person on him real quick.
Yeah, I would do that. That's a good time. That's so fun. I just love that logic of like there's two groups know that this person is dead. Allies and not allies. And
Well, shit. Yep, that one's on me. Go, please, charm. What's the save and throw?
yeah,
I am doing it. Yeah. Let's
what's the
see.
saving throw for that one?
Let's see. It's only one target, so that's nice.
Yeah,
It is a saving throw of wisdom 15.
Saving throw wisdom 15. That's a good save for you. And a 19 on the die is gonna be better, unfortunately.
Better. Wait, hold on. Does anything happen if I fail?
On
I
charm
probably not.
person, I don't think so. Usually, fail effects are just
Yeah,
like damage stuff.
yeah. It's just fine.
Okay,
I think it
so-
might know that I tried to charm it, though.
I mean, this guy's gonna start running. He has the phone, and he has the phone.
If he
and
starts
does
running,
a hunt.
does he take an opportunity attack from me when he leaves my?
So okay, here's how I'm gonna do this. Technically, he would not get an opportunity attack if he's like initiating this, you know? If he's the one that books it to start before you're ready for it, then no. But what I will do is I will give you give me a dexterity roll. Just give me a flat dexterity roll to see if you're ready for this guy's escape here.
Dexterity is not a good stat.
Rats, you can do the same if
I would love to do the same. Thank you.
Got a 7,
I looked
that's
at
an 8
4
on
on the die, so that's a 5 for Dex.
A 5 and a what?
7.
Oh, this ain't going great for.
I do have another thing
that
I'd
was
like to do
so
if he's
close
running,
to a
though.
nat 1, but it was a 13.
Wait, but if he's running away, can I do something real quick?
Yeah, I mean,
where are we?
You are like in the castle. Maybe. I didn't actually describe where you were specifically within that. We'll say that you are. I'll say you're in like a hallway of the castle, just like an administrative
How
area.
populated are we around?
There are a couple people here and there walking the halls. It's not a crowded area, but you're also not in the backroom nothingness of this. It's an average day. There are people milling about doing their jobs.
Okay. I would like to run after him and potentially use something that I have called Goring Rush because I'm a bull man.
Right. You do have
that. It's in combat, so we'll have to figure out what it is. But I can take the dash.
I'm just going to theater of mind this. Pulling up a map for this would be too much of a pain, so we'll just do this casually.
But I can take a dash action on my turn and move at least 20 feet. You immediately make one melee attack with your horns as a bonus action. So I stampede him with my horns.
What's your movement speed, out of curiosity?
30 feet.
30 feet. Okay. You know what? Sure. This dude starts running and you just gore him in the center of the hallway. People see this.
Gore, but with hope to not kill. Because I don't want to. It's hard because it's my horns. Well, you know what? Actually,
describe that.
This does make sense. This does make sense. You gotta ignore that it's called Goring Rush for a second. But if you think of it as a stampede, because I'm a bull man, I'm just gonna go for his legs. Because it's like this, and I'm just gonna hit his legs, is the plan.
I mean, make me the attack roll. I'm sure this is an attack.
It is, yeah. It has all the stuff that you need for it. That is a 10 to hit, which is not good.
Oh, this
that was a very low roll of the die. Yeah.
Okay.
No, this is because it's supposed to be.
That's not going
I'm fucking matadoring a guy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then I guess I ran by him. Sorry.
Well, actually, I mean, for what that's worth, if you run by, that actually does kind of make sense to me. If you Goring Rush this dude, or whatever the ability's called, I think I got it right, and miss, it actually does stand to reason that you would end up in front of him and cut him off.
Cool.
Jake is raising his hand.
Does the weird magical potential field that we have going on with the four of us affect this situation at all?
I will say it is still present. I will also say I don't think it's going to affect this. Especially because, it has worked out enough. I will say that you cut him off.
Cool. Then I'm just a big guy in his way. That's the new strat.
Okay, cool. Pine, now he has been slowed. Do you want to do anything? In this case, if this takes a little bit longer, we'll roll initiative, but I'll give you a chance to react here and stop it now before we have to get to that point.
Does he stop in response to a large bull man being in front of him, or is he still actively attempting to flee? I guess.
I think he's still. I'll kind of do the motion here. He's actively attempting to flee, but his path has been just blocked by a giant guy, so he kind of does that move where he stops running, sort of stumbles backwards, and then tries to catch himself to go around. So he never physically stops moving, but he is he does.
How small of a hallway is this, and how close does he get to me when he pivots?
let's do Pine things first. Pine's thing first, because that's happening consecutively.
So if I wanted to do a spell that was a 30 feet sphere, do I have room to not hit anyone else with it?
No. I'm gonna say no. Yeah, you're gonna be hitting somebody, because even if you cast it like with the boundary being between the guard and Ratch, that's gonna extend pretty far back behind you or behind them.
Okay. So Sickening Radiance is probably off the table.
Oh yeah, certainly don't do that.
And
one.
I can't Lightning Bolt because now my teammate is directly in front. So I guess I'm just gonna cast probably Blight.
Wait, Blight?
Oh sure.
Yeah. Is Blight the one that sucks the water out of you?
Yeah.
I love that spell. That's my favorite spell.
It's a good spell.
I remember.
It's also
Fight Fest.
I used it as trees in.
Oh yeah, I knew it was a one shot or something. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was the whole thing was that trees accidentally would cast Blight on people.
Yeah,
and suck all of their life out of them.
All right, what's the? Is that a saving throw on my part? Attack roll for you? What's the?
It is a DC 14 con save on your.
DC 14 con save. Well, this is about to be gross. Go on.
Oh, it does hit. Okay, yeah. So that's going to be 8d8 of damage. I'm just going to roll that on D&D Beyond because I don't have 8d8s.
Guard. He does not have a lot of health necessarily.
So that is 33 damage.
You killed this man.
Yeah. I mean, there are like some player characters at this level that can have health levels close to that. A random guy does get
my health total.
And this is sucking the water out of somebody, right? That's
wait. Can I don't know how this works if he just dies, but like, does Cure Wounds work on a man that has been dead?
Basically shot this dude with the Megamind Dehydrator Ray. You can't cure his wounds.
I could if you would let me.
I'm not. Sorry, I'm not.
What about healing? What about healing word? That doesn't say the word wounds in it.
Dust?
Yeah, the problem is I am drawing all of the water out of this man, and he is slowly turning into a desiccated husk because he openly opposed me.
Jess, you're not doing that at all. Slowly is not the word.
Very quickly.
Maybe I do have time. If it's instant dust.
Slowly. Okay, this is a 6-second spell. You shot him with the Megamind Dehydrator Ray.
Yeah. And he's now a dehydrated beef jerky man. It's fine.
Ratch is horrified. Yeah. Ratch drops to his knees in front of this man. And he's gonna, you know what, in character, he's gonna cast Cure Wounds on the beef jerky man anyway. It won't do anything, I don't care.
Great, Cure Jerky!
We couldn't risk him telling anybody.
We did not need to kill him. He was correct.
If you want to be really technical, any member of this party could eat this human and have it not technically be cannibalism.
That's true. I did not mean to kill him. I did not know it would be that strong. My other options would have hit you.
The jerky man.
No, this is such a pattern for Pine of Pine just kind of totters around being a nice, sweet old lady, and whenever anybody gets in Pine's way, she fucking obliterates them instantaneously. 3 times! 3 times this has happened! It's every other episode.
7
Jesus
men
Christ,
are dead.
7 men are dead.
God.
And he was right. You killed a man for being correct.
What do you mean he was right?
He was just pointing out the truth. You killed that man for being correct. That's not a crime, Pine.
I killed that man for being a threat.
In fairness, he was a criminal. He was pretty high up in a criminal organization.
Yeah,
he was high up a member.
The fucking above people, weirdly. I'm not going to validate this man for that.
I kind of want to title this episode Pine Obliterates a Third Person.
Oh my god.
I didn't know it was going to be that powerful.
I will say, though, to Pine's credit, you did pick a spell that, while absolutely destroying this man, wouldn't damage the phone.
That's true.
Phone's
And
fine.
this man was a high-up member of Valentine's organization.
I mean, you're right, and I don't like goons, but I don't like I didn't even kill Valentine. I had a chance. We waited till an order of the king to do that.
Look.
Not to cut off this wonderful conversation, but we do have to acknowledge the fact that you did just turn fairly high-ranking guard into beef jerky, just kind of in an active hallway.
Yeah. And I have the authority to do so. If anyone in here has a problem with how I handled this, they can speak up now.
Intimidation roll. You just turned a man into jerky. Give me an advantage on that intimidation roll.
All right.
That's well earned.
What is my
That's
intimidation?
maybe the most earned advantage
Thank
of the
you.
show.
That is a 25.
That is scary.
The hallway cleared.
Excellent.
Everyone suddenly has paperwork to file somewhere else.
Excellent. I'm going to pick up the phone and I'm going to look at Ratch Hatchet and say, if you want to have a black and white worldview, you can do so. But you have to stick to it or change everything.
That's the power move of Pine turning a man into meat and then just going, anybody gonna tell me I'm wrong? And everyone just leaving.
Bar and a half, though, Jess. Fuck yeah.
That was terrifying. Hell yeah.
Ratch is a broken man right now. Ratch is questioning everything. Ratch didn't even want to do, he didn't want to work with Dr. Clock with these people at the beginning. He just kind of went along with it. And now he's a party to a murder.
At this point, the screen
wasn't a murder.
Very abruptly cuts back to CL and Iggy.
Away.
The screen just cuts back to CL and Iggy tossing a sword in the air and then staring at it for a second and then just kind of picking it back off the ground and then cuts back to Pine and Ratch yelling at each other.
You killed a man running away! There's no honor here!
I didn't want to kill him.
Why do I bother making plans for this show?
Look.
Ratch liked Pine the most. Suspected the other two.
Yeah, this isn't going great for Pine. She liked Ratch a lot as well, and she doesn't know what else to do in this situation other than try to assert dominance, and it's not working.
Oh my god.
There is a foreign power that is going to invade. This is a war.
You better hope that whatever that phone thing is the literal worst thing ever, and this man was a devil. That is the only way that this ends with me not arresting you.
That is fair.
What if we call this episode Pine Makes a Snack?
Boy, some nice jerky.
I'm gonna write that down. I think that's.
I
think we got there.
Too good.
I think we got there.
Listen.
Everyone's gonna get to the fucking mushroom brand joke at the beginning and be like, that's a weird name for the episode for that. And then get to this.
We have come full circle from Beth saying that she liked Raisin Bran.
That is true. I do like
Making
raisins.
A man into a raisin.
Yeah. Look, everything that's happening here.
Raisin Bran.
Yeah, guys, we could eat this thing. No, look.
You could do what Bo did and just eat the jerky. You could just give it to someone without telling them.
If I had a nickel for every time on D&Dorks that we did reference human jerky, I truly hate to say that I would in fact have 2 nickels.
Twice, and this one's on purpose.
So of course it's not gonna do it.
It's true.
Like, come on.
out of character, but like 8d8, Jess, at level 7, what high fucking spell slot did you use to roast this man?
It's my pact slot. I have 2 spell slots, and they're always the highest level.
Power of a god to do that.
I did. My drowning god
Oh my god.
sucked the energy from that man.
Ratch is horrified beyond measure.
Okay.
And angry as hell.
We-
This is now a
The word of the
different
day.
dynamic
The
entirely.
word
Yeah.
of the day is siphon.
Nope, that's not where Jake is on your screens. Yep.
No, that's fair. The thing is this is exactly how Pine has done everything from the start, and she's shocked and
tired.
confused that this has suddenly changed. But it makes sense out of character.
We
I wanna-
have to move on from
Wait,
this.
Yeah.
I want to say that I asked in our little secret Discord before this if we were doing a time jump, specifically because if we were going to do any amount of like more than a week, I wanted to do a big shift in Ratch's personality based around the fact that he hated Valentine and Valentine was dead. And now we've not done a shift, but I now have to wrestle with the fact that Ratch has been party to a murder thanks to Jess. And so I guess we'll do that instead. Thank
You don't
you,
get to
Jess.
just glaze over the trauma. we gotta work it all out in real time.
All right, anyway.
Okay,
Move on.
So, what the fuck are you two doing after that? What is your follow-up?
So how do we respond about the cat to the phone people?
Do we have a cat, Pine?
We do not. I'm going to say working on it.
That was the second half of what I said to say the first time. But now a man's dead.
He could have told people that we're the ones who killed Valentine.
We are the ones who killed Valentine. That was a good thing to do.
It was, but we are in a nest full of his people.
One less.
One less.
One less. Anyway, here, you grab one arm, I'll grab the other. We need to dispose of this body.
I, instead of that, will just cast invisibility on this body.
Oh, sure.
Perfect. Okay.
Does that work on corpse?
It doesn't say it doesn't work on dead.
For the sake of not having this take longer than it already has, sure.
Cool. It just says a creature you touch becomes invisible. There's nothing about doesn't work on.
I feel like some people in the comments are going to yell at me about that if I'm wrong, but I'm going to make the executive DM decision that I don't care enough to fact check that. So go ahead. Yeah, sure. That's fine.
Okay.
Let's go back to our party and tell them what we learned.
Are you bringing the... Where are you putting the man?
It's invisible.
Invisible ends when they cast a spell.
Okay,
I feel like
hold
he's
on.
just
Pause
invisible.
everything. I asked, where are you putting the man? And Jess so genuinely went, he's invisible. Jess, that didn't answer shit.
That's what I'm saying too. He'll never turn non-invisible because he's never going to cast a spell. I think we leave the man.
He's just there.
Sure, someone's
trip
going
over.
someone's going to
Is it
trip over that
until-
man and have the worst day of anyone's life in that castle.
I mean,
Is it
at that
until the
point-
creature casts a spell, or until
has-
the spellcaster
No,
casts
it's
a
the
spell?
creature.
I'm making
Really?
a DM decision that we have to move the fuck on.
Bad at reading.
Okay,
things.
yeah,
after
yeah,
show,
yeah.
after show.
You're
We'll
right, you're
debate
right.
this in the after show. We gotta go. You guys are heading back to the to the base of operations. Okay, did you respond working on it to the guy as you're going, just so that I know what the...
I did, yeah.
Okay. How long does this take? Okay. You get a response back fairly quickly that says, well, in about 20 minutes, our other guy's going to be working on it, so you better go fast.
Okay, so they have somebody looking for Catsby in about 20 minutes.
Ask who the other guy is.
I'm gonna, I'll say, should we meet with the other guy? ?
I love the idea of a man who's been threatening us this whole time. He's like, I'm going to send a robot after you. And then we're just like, should we meet with the robot?
Never said robot. So, The guy just kind of responds, "If you want to," very clearly like, "I wouldn't, but fucking sure."
Okay. I don't think we should meet with the other guy. It sounds like they're sending somebody after Catsby.
Yeah.
It does.
And we got to go protect our friend, regardless of what you think about me.
We'll get the cat.
Mhm.
You're still pending under arrest, depending on what this phone thing shakes out to
Depending
be.
on who trips over that.
You know what? If it turns out that I murdered that man for nothing and that this isn't some plot that will cause irreparable harm to all the people down here, then I will surrender myself to your arrest.
Good.
Okay?
All right, so after some time, everybody reconvenes at the at Iggy's place. I think some conversations need to be had.
They are sending somebody after Catsby, it would seem like. They referred to Catsby as our portion of the conduit.
Wait. Your portion of the conduit to this person is Valentine's portion of the conduit.
Yes.
Do they know Catsby has that now?
No, they don't know anything about Catsby.
Mike has pointed out something notable. They would not have any reason, as far as you know, to know that.
In that case, they're not looking for Catsby. They're gonna go to Valentine's fucking office and find out they're dead.
Oh, we told them Valentine was dead.
What in the fuck would you do that for, Pine?
Because
That-
they knew somebody was coming anyway.
Yeah, no, that part made sense in the plan, actually.
Well, there's still... Shit.
What happened with your sword?
It's gold now.
Ooh.
Does it do the...
I don't know yet. It didn't to an apple.
Didn't to an apple.
It seems relatively.
Did you brutally murder any random goon to get that done?
I mean, I cut an apple in half.
Interesting.
CL have been here. There hasn't been anybody else. It's just been
No.
us here.
Interesting.
throwing a sword for a while. Did you guys brutally murder somebody?
I don't know. Fine.
I did, in fact, brutally kill somebody. They were they put together that we killed Valentine and started
Perfect.
running to go tell other people that we killed Valentine. And I didn't think we needed to deal with that trouble at the moment. So I blighted him to death.
You what him?
Blighted?
They absorbed. Basically, imagine a person, and then imagine all of the gooey parts gone.
Oh, goodness. Oh, it's clean then.
Very. There's nothing but jerky left.
And is the body visible?
No?
No, that would a wild
Sounds
question to
absolutely
ask.
done. Good.
Wild, but hey, for CL, can't complain that it's not in character.
Soft
Clean
canonizing
normal
that the
thing.
way you treat soft canonizing that the correct way to do wet work in this town is to cast invisibility after.
No, I mean, actually, like, it's not a permanent spell, but it's not a bad idea to do right after a like, yeah.
How have we collectively killed more people inside the castle walls than outside the castle walls?
Because Pine has one setting. That's how.
Odd.
Yeah?
I want it to be known, I don't know how we're all arranged in this house, but Ratch is somehow, if possible, closest to Iggy and farthest from Pine that he can be.
You can arrange yourselves however you want. I'm not going to pull up a battle map for that.
Shall we,
He's just scooching his chair, squeaking as he
Exactly.
moves himself away
This
from
giant bull man is just
just angry?
ugh.
I deserve it. It's fine. Should
I cannot.
should we go try to save Catsby, or should we go talk to the to Elgon like we originally planned to? I feel like we have all the info we need.
I feel like diving into the realm of another high up mob boss when whatever the heck this timer that we've got going on with who knows who these people are. I don't really want to be like surrounded on multiple sides, but I don't really want to go back to Elgon like anyway, but like I feel like this is not the best time. We should probably see what is going to happen in like 20 minutes or whatever.
You probably know what's going to happen.
If we went back to Iggy's and we've like now are decompressing, how are we at like 5 minutes? Like how much time do we have?
Oh, negative.
Oh, negative? Oh, okay.
It takes more than 20 minutes to get from Iggy to the castle.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe at a nice castle view apartment.
Whatever is there is the guy who is staying with the poor old miner?
Yeah.
Nikhil, it's been actively described as the edge of the city so many times.
That could be castle. How big's the city? It's fine.
Okay, sure.
Whether we have
and Catsby looks like
time
a cat.
or not, like we weren't gonna find Catsby in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
We were not, no.
And whatever will befall Catsby will befall Catsby. But on the other hand, that feels like an unresolved thread.
Well, we know exactly what it is, right? Because it's the guy that killed everyone at the beginning. The one that Catsby remembered.
But he didn't.
I thought that was. Was that not the weird guy that we've also had hanging around with us that turned into a wolf?
No,
different.
Oh.
We went up in the mines and we found him. Okay, my bad.
Yeah, but he didn't know. He didn't realize Catsby was down here until he saw Catsby with us and got.
We never found Shepard.
Yeah,
that was on our list to do at the castle. We never did that.
Yeah, I very much been playing this episode as I knew you guys went in with a to-do list, and I was gonna see how many of those tasks you actually did. That was my plan for this episode. Was I have your to-do list in front of me, and you're hitting the mark so far. And this episode's not even at 3 hours. You got some time?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think the next thing we should do is get Shepard. He probably has some idea of where the golden cats might go.
Or
at least who the heck is sending things to us? And if they're evil enough to just kill anyone who's ever talked to them.
I mean, shot in the dark, we can go after Shepard, but shot in the dark, maybe Catsby went back to the Gold Cave, where he got some memories back. It's kind of the only significant location we know about Catsby.
That is also where we met Shepard.
Oh yeah, the weird area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm down to head back there.
Big golden statues.
All right,
check it out then.
Seems better than any other ideas I have.
Look at you guys remembering important information. Good for you. So you guys are heading straight there?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
So, yeah.
Now it is a bit of time to get to the mine and then back up through the tunnels, but you do get to the sort of cave-in area that led up to this larger cavern without too much trouble, or any trouble really. Everyone make me a perception check as you get up
there. Sorry, what check is this again?
Perception.
Actually, as I said that, I'm going to have you make another check, so I'm just going to have you make them both at once. Everyone, we'll do the perception check first.
Okay, 14 for perception.
Oh my god, math. 19.
14, 19.
7.
7.
4.
Jess is making a 4. Okay, so 19 is the best there. Everyone make me, as an immediate follow-up, and I'll describe them together, an Arcana check.
Oh, this I could do.
That is a 4.
Yo, 19.
19.
8.
Okay. 8. All right. So 19 for both. That's fitting enough. So, Iggy, as you start to approach this area, that feeling of that strange sense, that feeling that something has changed, becomes a little bit more palpable. And this is actually fitting since you were the one that did that thing with the sword. This is definitely the direction that the sort of sword energy, whatever it was going. There is an upslope to this cavern. It is, it's a bit off to this side, but it is higher up geographically than Spondylix is. This seems like it is at least a stop on the pathway. Ciel, your investigative efforts are focused a little bit more on the practical side of this, which I do think makes sense for your character. That rubble that was left from the cave-in, where, Catsby kind of fell in, it has definitely been cleared away, but in such a way that someone wants it to not look like it was moved away. This is something that you would be familiar with, I think, in your line of work. Someone has made it easier to get through here and tried to hide that fact as best as possible.
Mm-hmm. I relay that to the team.
Question.
Concerning.
Is Catsby an object?
For what purpose?
For locate object?
Read me the text on locate object.
Let's see. Describe or name an object that is familiar to you. You sense the direction to the object's location as long as the object is within 1,000 feet of you. If the object is in motion, you know the direction of its motion. The spell can locate a specific object known to you as long as you've seen it up close within 30 feet at least once. Alternatively, the spell can locate the nearest object of a particular kind, such as certain kinds of apparel, jewelry, furniture, tools, or weapons. The spell can't locate an object if any thickness of lead, even a thin sheet, blocks a direct path between you and the object.
Why does that spell use Superman rules? It's such a weird.
Yeah, the lead is so bizarre.
It's
a lot of
literally
D&D.
just Superman.
Yeah.
It's within 1,000 feet, though. Did I hear that limitation on there?
Yeah, it's more so really to see if it's within 1,000 feet of this mine.
This cavern is fairly
really
big.
for.
Is it 1,000? I mean, how much is 1,000 feet when we're talking about caves? That's fairly big.
Yeah, 1,000 feet's long.
That's actually kind of an interesting idea. Because the question of is Catsby an object is one that...
Yeah. Well, I
aside
think
from just being like an existential do creatures count as objects mechanics thing, like it also has specific lore implications, and I'm not sure exactly how this would play out with the exact lore that I've set up here. So I'm going to do what I think is the best choice for a live show and choose the option that's the most fun. You do definitely detect the presence of what seems to be Catsby in multiple places in front of you.
Okay, but I would know the direction, so can I go to one?
Well, you are in this tunnel is below the larger cavern. There was a cave in from there that collapsed into this. So you have to actively go up and in there. They're in this larger cavern.
Okay.
So
Then
let's
Get in there.
Yeah, I mean, I'll convey to the group that he's up there, or lots of them are up there, and go.
All right. This is where things get funky. Do I even need to have people make a perception check for this? I'm gonna say no. So, describing this cavern again, since it's been 2 months since we've seen it again, this is a large cavern lit by strange glowing structures hanging from the ceiling. It is surprisingly lush for a cavern in or around Spondylix. There's a lot of greenery, plant life, kind of jungle-esque in a sense, which is not something that you would have seen a lot of in this territory. The most notable thing around here is the large humanoid golden statues that dot the landscape. They are clearly unnatural in some capacity. They have, the origin of them is a mystery, but they are registering to your spell as Catsby. All of them. You can clearly tell from the directions that your spell is sort of triangulating that all of these are registering as not just the same type of thing, but by the nature of the spell, in some strange abstract sense, literally the same object. However, somewhat worryingly, those statues are actually not the most immediately noticeable thing in this cavern. The more immediately noticeable thing is that off in the distance of the cavern, on a slightly raised platform, are buildings. Black buildings that were definitely not there the last time you were here.
Ooh.
Good news, bad news. This is Catsby. And Matt just sort of gestures all around. Bad news. Don't know what that means. Does that work?
I hope that did not get suppressed by any sort of audio suppression on the stream. Just know that I appreciated it, even if it did. Again, yeah, that's what you see. There is no response, unfortunately, to your call.
So there are buildings in here?
Yeah, they are far off in the distance, and again, they are all, or at least mostly, black. So they're hard to make out details of from where you are at. It's also not the most well-lit cavern. It's more well-lit than your average cavern, but it is still a large cave. You cannot make out details from where you're at.
Before the buildings, can I inspect one of these statues?
If you want to, yeah, you'll have to go up to one of them.
Yeah, I'll go up to whichever one.
Just the nearest one, sure. I'll kind of just do what I've done in the past. Pick a roll it. I'll give you information relevant to the type of investigation you want to choose.
All right, I'll just do a good investigation one. That was an 11. That was not great.
11 for just flat investigation?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not really going to get too much off. Basically just the same as you saw before. They are golden statues. They are clearly the same sort of liquid that Catsby is made of, and now they are registering as the same object to some capacity, but you can't really get no new information.
Lit.
This is...
Could I don't know if this is worth doing, but I'll say it anyway. Could I make a perception check on them to see if they have changed in any subtle way since the last time we were here?
Yeah, sure.
Any vision?
Oh, Matt. That's
a one.
Oh, no. Hard to see.
These are some scary statues, man.
Real dark.
Matt, does Iggy's sword light up as Catsby?
Oh, that's an interesting question. Would it? No.
All right, then.
So that's information.
Iggy.
Yes.
Could you stab a statue? Or you don't have to stab it. You could just touch it, maybe. Just see how they react.
We don't want to hurt it if it's innocent.
Yeah, good point, Pine.
You like, what do you mean there?
You used to cover your swords with Catsby, right? Now your swords look like Catsby, and allegedly this is Catsby. Okay, but allegedly this is Catsby. So I say take the thing that looks like Catsby, stick it to what is Catsby, see what happens.
The golden sword. He wants you to touch
the golden sword.
I understand. I'm wary to do that. It doesn't seem.
You
like
think it'll get sucked?
I just don't. It doesn't seem like it doesn't seem like
that's the title. That's the title. Episode 6. You think it'll get sucked?
I don't think it beats Pine Makes a Snack. That's maybe one of my favorite episode titles we've ever had on D&Dorks as a whole. Also, I don't want to get demonetized.
I don't know.
I mean, your prerogative, man. I'm not gonna take your sword.
These are kind of part of me. Like, I almost lost it already today.
I will say, Iggy, if you want to make an Arcana check, you'll have to get like a relatively high roll, but you can like try to make a prediction of what you think would happen based on this. You don't have to trial by fire it.
Okay. Yeah, that's only a 10.
Okay, well, never mind.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm very confident about this.
At this point, we don't need to risk Iggy's sword. And it seems quite likely that the very conspicuous new buildings will give us some important context.
Yeah, Ratch, do you still have invisibility?
Actually,
I'm worried about.
We didn't get a magical item. No, because that was the mold.
I do still have invisibility. Yeah, we're good.
if we're gonna go over there, I think it might behoove us to be less.
Oh, I don't have that
conspicuous.
much invisibility.
You don't have.
That would be 4
Or-
uses. That's insane. No.
Oh, it's.
Well, I
it's-
can sneak
you can't.
well.
You can't.
No, it says it's a creature
outside
you
of-
touch. But I can go to
Oh, it's
the
just one
outer.
creature. Okay.
There might be a way that you can do multiple people at higher spell slots. I don't know if invisibility is one of the spells that works like that.
At least at 4th level, which is the highest I have, it does not say it works on more than one.
Okay. Well, I would say the most. I mean, I guess technically we don't all need to go check it out. Just the
I mean,
most.
there's not really anything around except for all of the
Well, not
Catsbys.
that we can see.
I will
But I
go
mean-
ahead and say, just to make the situation a little bit more ominous, you cannot make out these buildings in enough detail to tell if and how active they are.
Ranch is going bravely into the night. He does not need invisibility or like. Now, if Pine would like invisibility, Pine could ask very nicely.
I don't need
I mean-
invisibility. I feel like that felt like a
Okay.
threat.
So can we? So hold on a second. We have big bowl man, small reptile lady. I think if anybody was going to be invisible, it should be you. The
Me?
big,
I don't know.
noticeable thing.
Yeah,
I don't know. Am I a creature that I can see within my range?
If a
Oh, wait, hold
spell requires
hold on.
like touch, so 0
No, it's a
feet-
creature. This one is a creature you can touch, so I can do myself. Never
Yeah.
mind.
I mean, even if like if something is within a certain range, you are always within range. The very
the
rare
question-
spells that you cannot target yourself with will say
The question was
something
more
other than
about
yourself.
being able to see, because I had the wrong spell pulled up that said
Being able to
creature
see.
you can see. Yeah,
Oh well, yeah, you can see yourself.
Unless you're invisible.
unless you're invisible.
Yeah, but
Um.
casting a spell ends at regard. But yeah, just for note, and this is just a D&D tip for everybody. In 9 out of 10 cases, probably more than that, you can always target yourself with a spell.
I mean, Ratch could. I don't think he is going would want to at all. He's
Fair
not a
decision.
sneaky
Your
man.
call.
I know.
I'm not making myself
in
invisible.
character. I'm begging you. I feel like if anyone is going to attract the attention of what I feel like we just stumbled onto ominous dark buildings that were not here. What, 2 days ago?
Iggy, can I ask you a question?
Sure. Yeah, it's a free kingdom.
If if you hypothetically were to come across a low-ranking goon who happened to have knowledge that you would not want, what are the odds you think that you would immediately kill them?
What is that?
Very high,
I
Ratch.
don't understand the relevance
I'm not asking you,
current-
CL. I know where you stand.
to our current.
Just
Are you-
answer the question,
Are you
Iggy.
weighing
Scale of
my
1 to
heart,
10.
Like on a scale, what is happening here?
Scale of 1 of 10. How likely would you be to murder them immediately?
I mean, I chased down Valentine. Was definitely against
Didn't murder
us.
Valentine.
Yeah, I told you to put him in handcuffs.
It's true, you did.
I think you should already know. I mean, I guess it's been less than a week, but I feel like I've been pretty transparent. with
As he's rambling, Ratch will turn himself invisible. That's a good enough argument for him.
I would also
Thank
like
you.
to point out that it was not a low-level goon, wherever you are. It was the highest-ranking member that we know of from Valentine's organization.
A random guard, Jess.
All right.
It wasn't like a fellow diplomat or anything. It's a
He was
random
the head
guy.
guard.
Yeah, he was like a high ranking. Like I believe I described him as a captain.
He knew
Or
Valentine's
or something,
password.
some commander, maybe.
He
something
did know
similar.
Valentine's password, but
Either he was important or they were dating.
They weren't dating.
So he was important.
Ratch will turn himself invisible, though. He's
All
warming
right.
up to trusting Iggy, because trusting Pine hasn't led him well.
In that
we've
case,
come a long way in 4 days.
everyone give me stealth checks if you are approaching. Ratch, you can do so with advantage. You're invisible. Weirdly, invisibility does not have the solid mechanics in 5e that you would think it would, but I will just note that I will take your invisibility into account in the situation.
It's a 21.
Okay, cool.
Damn, I got a 12.
Supposed to be the
6.
stealthy one. Oh no.
Did you just
I rolled a 3 on the die.
Oh no. 15.
Okay, so
Ratch is going to be the only one.
And
who
if I
gets it.
remember correctly, I don't roll with advantage in this place specifically.
yes, this environment that you are entering is more plant life than just pure rocks. So a 6 was the lowest one?
Yeah.
Okay. This is where things are going to get real interesting. We're at 3 hours. I don't think we're going to end the episode here, but this would be a good episode ender if we were at a time where I think we could, which should scare you all. So, you all start kind of going through this jungle area very, as stealthily as you can. Maybe not very stealthily. It does kind of make sense that Pine would have the most trouble getting through this. Some of the plants are probably about the size of Pine, and she's a very old woman with a cane trying to sort of wade her way through this. Actually, you know what? I'll be nice. Everyone give me a perception check before anything happens.
It's also a 6.
Dirty 20.
Christ.
Sorry.
14.
25.
25. Okay, well that explains the low stealth. You're on the active search here. With the 25 CL, you can see a lot of things about this little camp as you approach. And camp is the accurate way to describe it. While it is not in any context that you have seen before, you are familiar enough with, structures and things like that, command structures, I guess, to know a military camp when you see one. These are soldiers. There are soldiers walking around. They, you don't have context in character for what a normal, topside soldier would be, but for the benefit of the audience and you guys as players, I will go ahead and say that these are not. They are wearing mostly black, like tactical suits, more akin to slightly higher tech, like SWAT gear than anything else. All black, seems like stealth operatives. Whatever these people are, they are some sort of special unit. With a 25, I will go ahead and say that you could see the marking of the letters USAC on several of their buildings, uniforms, etc., etc. You could notice more things about them, specifically what they're doing, their operations, their defenses, etc., if you got a little bit closer. But unfortunately, before you have a chance to do any of that, CL, you do notice something else. That is a large sort of pulse emitting from a statue nearby, coincidentally right as Pine trips over a branch. Didn't get noticed by the guards. Got noticed by something else. Let's see. How do I mean, what's all your reactions to this? You have a second to decide. You do so we'll say Ratch and CL, you do see, like, the camp notices this. There's a big glowing pulse that emits from this very large statue. Some sort of alarm has been triggered.
Does the pulse feel similar to the whole aura?
Yeah,
thing
it's definitely
it
the same type of signature.
Okay.
This is also a situation where I, as the DM, am keeping track in my head of how long it takes for you guys to make a decision, just so you know.
I would like to stand up, but I'm not prone.
Okay, Pine stands up.
I guess CL is going to get down on the ground into the underbrush and make himself as invisible as possible.
Okay, going with the stealth angle here.
Yeah.
That's
Okay,
that's
so
really
Ratch
one.
is invisible.
Ratch is invisible, yes. CL is trying to stealth which you'll have to do a roll for, but I'll get stock of everybody's actions before I make rolls happen. Pine, you are up, and then Iggy. I mean, well, Pine, you can do something else, but Iggy, what are your 2 plans?
I would say that as soon as this pulse happens, and I notice Pine stumbling or whatever's happening, I would like to mold earth beneath myself and Pine to put us in a hole and close it mostly, but not completely, so that we don't like suffocate to death.
Gotcha.
So that we are out of sight.
Yeah, and there's enough plant cover in here that's pretty viable to do. So, in that case, CL and Ratch, both of you make me stealth checks. Ratch, you can do this with advantage.
That one was nicer to me. That is a 25.
25 is quite good.
21.
21. Both of these are excellent. Some stuff there. All right. So, after this initial pulse, the sort of glow that this statue was emitting does fade. Whether that means that it has sort of lost your signature for whatever reason, you do not know. But very shortly after this happens, you do hear some approaching footsteps, and actually maybe even some vehicle sounds from the direction of this camp, unsurprisingly. Now, I don't think, Iggy and Pine, you would not have a visual on this. But CL and Ratch, I'm going to assume you do. You see some of these soldiers walk up and start investigating the area. They are speaking to each other. They are not speaking in a language that you understand. It's the same language that Shepard's it's English. I don't need to beat around the bush anymore. They're speaking English. You don't know that.
What if it wasn't English? What if this was the world? Oh, I guess it's the other world of yours. Never mind. I was gonna say, what if it's a world in which it's the Dutch that rule America? But it's not. So never mind.
Well, maybe one. Well, no, I'm not gonna go with that bit. So they start investigating this area. Their awareness seems to their alertness seems to very quickly drop, seeming to acknowledge this as a false alarm pretty fast, fortunately for you.
What I hear in my head is the music from Metal Gear Solid when the guards are alerted, dun, 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 and then it goes back to normal after you're done hiding in a cardboard box for a little while.
Yeah. However, things are about to get a little bit more interesting. After a moment of these guards checking around, a Jeep drives up, kind of crashing through the underbrush as it does. These guys don't have much regard for nature. And stepping out of this Jeep is a person, a woman, who is not dressed as much as a soldier. She is dressed more, just gonna go ahead and say it, super villainy. Not in like a spandex costume kind of way, sort of in like, this is maybe the type of person who would be going up against John Constantine, that kind of thing. Like, dressed like a normal person, but with a little bit of wizardiness amped up to 11. This woman, also speaking a language that you do not know, walks up to the statue, holds out her hands, and without her hands moving, a series of runes start appearing around them, which then go and encircle the statue, checking it for something. You're not entirely sure what. However, much to your worry, I would imagine, some of these runes start drifting down from this statue after a while. And while Iggy and Pine don't see this, they do start hovering conspicuously over the area where they are hidden. Let's see. How would they even react to this? This is how I should be DMing, of like saying what happens and then deciding the reaction, but also this is very much a case where I'm like, this is what would happen, and I don't know what the consequence is by the time I'm finished saying it. I think we're gonna get some investigation checks from NPCs here. Ain't that fun? That's bad. It's good for you.
Love bad.
Also
good for
bad.
Us. Love it.
That was natural 20.
No.
Don't love that.
No. That was
like that with the NPCs that are on our side.
Yeah, but that doesn't happen. So they start investigating a little bit, and eventually, one of the guards, not the woman who's sort of in charge of this, she looks exasperated. It doesn't seem like she's giving her all to this project. Does find this little hole in the ground that doesn't look necessarily natural, and before anything happens, Iggy and Pine, give me perception checks. See if you can notice this.
Come on, roll above a 5. I got a 5.
Wow. Is that a 6?
Yeah.
Oh boy. For what it is worth, and this matters, CL and Ratch, you definitely are seeing this happen real time. But, yeah, this guard takes a flashlight and shines it in there. And since neither of you saw it in time, does shine it on a little guy and a lizard. Before...
So I assume that in this hole, all that's around us is rock. Did I roll for stealth with advantage in the hole?
Seeing Pine regardless. I mean...
Damn it.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, you'll see me and I'll make noise and I will distract for you. I say this is a great strategy. I will be the one to get arrested again.
If you want
I'll come out governor.
Sure. I mean, this
Governor would be a downgrade.
Go for it. Why not?
That's true, actually.
Got a nat 20.
He disappears.
Well, like, yeah, I guess
so
I'm alone. It's all me.
Up against the side of the hole.
Okay. The good thing about this is that it's relatively believable purely because of, I think, this is not the witch who has seen this. This is a guy. This is a soldier. This is a soldier in the magical division of the military, sure, but how much action does this guy really see on the regular? What you see in this man's eyes, he sees this conspicuous hole next to this giant golden statue. Thinks that might be something. Takes his flashlight, shines it, and goes, "Oh, there's a lizard down there." That's not a fucking lizard. And then he screams. At this
Hello.
The lizard then makes a noise. Sounds maybe like it vaguely could be a word, but it's not a word that this guy knows. And yeah, the hole is immediately surrounded by every guard pointing their gun at it. The witch walks over. Iggy, are you opening the hole, or is Pine just like... Because I saw Jess do this maneuver
Hands
here.
Open the hole.
Sure. I guess I'm opening the hole.
I was not saying that as a suggestion necessarily. I did just see Jess making that move, and I was like, "Oh, is it being open?" It's your
No, this is my hands up. Don't like. I'm not a threat. Hands up.
It's a tiny little hole.
I did it in response to her saying.
Okay, so if it was said,
do it.
You kind of peel this earth back. I'm going to assume in such a way that it does not reveal you just above Pine. And yeah, there's just another moment of everybody staring at you, Pine, with your hands up. Are you making any action in this moment? Everyone around seems fairly stunned. Again, it's just these let's say 4 guys around this hole.
I know they probably can't understand me, but I'm going to...
I'm going to interject really quick because I just had a thought that might be somewhat relevant. You don't know what this kind of gun is. Probably the only type of gun that you have seen is like maybe some basic rifles and Ratch's pistols. These are like high-tech, possibly magically augmented assault rifles. These are not something you are familiar with, but they definitely look scary.
I'm going to say, in case any of them are able to hear me, I would like to climb out of the hole. I don't mean you any harm. And I'm going to kind of hand sign, like climbing, and point at the wall, and then point at me and see if anybody makes a reaction.
There's a moment of just kind of silence from them before one of them, who seems to, if not technically be in charge, because the witch is in charge, just kind of gestures like, yeah, okay. None of them drop their guns, but...
Then I will climb up out of the hole. And then once I'm out of the hole, my hands are up again. And I will, as friendly as I can say, be like, do any of you understand me?
They don't seem to. No one really responds. Maybe after a moment, one of them kind of speaks up, saying something to the effect of no. The witch seems still uninterested in this entire thing. And is just kind of scanning the area, seeming like, took a look at you. Does not seem particularly worried about whatever you are, but seems to assume that you are not alone in this. Now, see, this is an interesting point, because I have a thing that would happen here, but if it happens here, it ends the episode. And I think 3 hours and 15 minutes is probably enough, especially because I would rather end the episode early on a really good note, rather than extend it longer than it has to, especially since we have confirmed schedule-wise that we're going to go to the full 10. So, I'm going to real quick give Iggy, CL, Ratch one more chance to do something. You guys all have one action that you can take if you want. If you want to sit by and let this play out, go ahead. Then something's going to happen. Then the episode's going to be over.
Pine is leaving?
Right now,
And
Pine is kind of just like... Pine has crawled out of the hole. The witch is scanning the area. The other guards are all the guns trained on Pine, but no one really seems to know how to react in this situation.
It is worth noting that if there's somebody not looking at me, I'm going to just keep making noise to try to get their attention. So I am just talking while this is happening.
Gotcha.
Just trying real hard. And I'm looking at the witch as I'm talking to, just trying real hard to get her attention.
Gotcha.
Even though she can't understand me.
If you want to make a performance check for me.
Oh, I would love to.
Go ahead. Just so we have a number on the board.
I actually don't know what my performance skill is. I haven't had to do this. That would be a natural 1. I'm going to throw this dice in a jar.
Yeah. Unfortunately, to most of these people, this has the same effect as just lizard sounds being made.
I love the idea of this feeble old woman who's just like, I know what I have to do.
Arrest me. Arrest me. How come nobody's paying attention? Arrest me. There's nobody else here. Do I need to dance? My leg.
Okay, actually, you know what?
Right.
I said everybody's going to have actions. I'm going to do something to prevent another cacophony of bullshit incident. Everyone roll me initiative literally just for this. We're going to do that in advance.
I don't even fucking know what to do with this.
You don't have to. You don't have to. I'm just giving you an opportunity to. If you don't want to do anything now or don't know what to do, that is totally fine. But I feel it's fair and most interesting if I give you a response chance.
That was a 7 for initiative.
12.
We got
And
11.
all right, Iggy, you have the opportunity to do something first.
Okay. I am going to take my sword, my golden sword that resembles Catsby-ification, and from my spot where I am hidden, throw it up through the hole into the air as high as I can, hoping to draw their attention with it.
Okay.
And at the same time, cast at 2nd level Earth Tremor around the hole to hopefully knock the 4 guards on their asses.
Is there a save that I'm assuming it's maybe a deck save? If
It's a
memory.
13 deck save.
13 deck save. Cocked. Two of the guards do fall over. 2 out of 4.
Okay, and those 2 take 2d6 damage.
All right, I will actually note this.
It's only 2 damage that they take. I rolled 2 ones on my
All
d6s.
right. CL, if there's anything you want to do here.
I want to find what seems to be... Are the guards wearing any kind of helmets or easily stealable protective gear? from a glance.
They got helmets on, yeah. I wouldn't call a helmet easily stealable necessarily, but
well, from one of the prone guards, Cielo's gonna take off his helmet and put it on him.
give me a sleight of hand check. I guess, are you trying to do this stealthily or just do it?
How does he not see you when you take his helmet off?
Yeah.
I'm already in the dirt, and they're disoriented.
I feel like you should roll to see if the helmet got
there's
dislodged naturally.
a couple checks that are going to have to be made here for this very strange play.
Well, sleight of hand was a 21.
Okay, so you definitely do get the helmet into your possession. That is 100% certain. If you want to try to do this without people noticing, you're going to have to make me an additional stealth check.
Sure.
Now, obviously, they're going to notice that the helmet is gone. It's not on a guy's head anymore, but the idea is that they don't notice where it went or assume it, came off when he fell and rolled somewhere.
Yeah, 27 for stealth.
Okay, wow. See if anybody gets a nat 20 here.
What is that on the die?
18.
Jesus.
No nat 20s. So yeah, you take this guy's helmet off. This is all happening in such quick succession that he's not going to get off the ground before the next things happen, but presumably when he does, he will start looking around for it, thinking that it fell off when he fell. You now have a USAC helmet. Note that in your inventory.
The helmet.
All right.
Just the helmet. Nothing else. You're just going to walk around in your normal clothes with the helmet on.
You now have a USAC helmet in your inventory. Maybe it'll be relevant. Who knows? Ratch, you want to do anything?
Okay. So I'm not hiding, right? I just am invisible in the middle of this?
That's your call. I mean, it's your positioning.
I'm in a situation here because to do anything would be to become uninvisibled, which would then be to make me in a worse position.
That is the situation that has happened, yes.
I don't think I can do. I feel like I'm just gonna keep waiting. Also, for sure, I go and also hide while invisible, but that is it.
Okay, so you back up into. I'm not even gonna make you roll a stealth check for that. Enough is happening. You're invisible. You'll be able to do this without being really noticed. Now, other things are going to happen. I think I kept a straight enough face when Mike was removing the helmet of one of the guards. Because the thing about this is that I had already decided what was going to happen after this before you guys took action. And then something that you did changed this pretty actively. Because after these things happen, a bolt of magical energy fires directly into the now exposed head of this one guard on the ground, just killing him instantaneously. And as all heads whip around to reveal the very, very, very pissed off form of Shepard sitting up in a tree, sniper staff in hand, he shouts down, "What the hell are you all doing here again, god damn it!" And with that, we will end the episode here and pick up next week with an initiative roll.
I cannot believe that Shepard fucking hit something.
Yeah. I mean, the target was made entirely vulnerable. I didn't say what it was, but I think it's proof enough that I said earlier, I was like, if I do the thing that I want to do, it's going to end the episode. That was the thing, that was Shepard sniping a guy, because I knew there was no way that wasn't going to end in a combat, which would be too long to do this week. And then Mike read my mind and was like, I'm going to take his headgear.
See, I thought the witch was going to do something, and I was like, well, the soldiers might have some protecting.
I briefly was like, if I just attack someone right now, then I will also start combat, which doesn't make any sense because we're about to break. And also, I'll just be a buffalo in the middle of the fucking room.
That was why I gave you guys a chance. I was like, I don't want to just have this episode end right now of okay, you're in combat now. I want to give you guys a chance to sort of set something up even without knowing. And you guys did. I was about to say 2 of the guards are prone. Technically, one guard is prone. You really set up, because you knocked this dude down and then took away his head protect. He was a sitting duck, and now 8 men are dead.
8 men are dead.
8 men are dead, and I think that's the best note that we could end this episode on. A lot of things revealed. I think I said this like 60% through, but my plan going into this episode was literally just I have the screenshot on hand. It's literally the last screenshot in my phone, in my camera roll, of just the to-do list that Jake made on Discord, and I was like, well, this is what they have to do. Let's see what we got. Follow up on where Shepard is. Did happen. You did get there. You don't know how or why or what he's doing, but you did get there. Give Vile we acquired to Catsby. That happened. Investigate Valentine's phone. That happened. Continue investigating the other phone. That one couldn't have really happened given the situation, but I'll give you a point because why not? Reconvene with the king. Get something that can physically prove Pine's authority. You brutally murdered a captain of the guard. So that's maybe a point off. But then the final one is possibly seek out that mage again because she might know what Catsby is. You did that one. So good job, everybody. To-do list is done. You have solved a couple problems. You have made more problems. And we will see the result of those problems next week in episode 7. All right. We do have announcements to do again. I very much, everyone's waving because I phrased that like we were going to end the stream right here. We have announcements we have to go through. But for people who leave the VODs before the announcements happen, which I'm sure a lot of you do, that was a nice conclusion for you guys. Since I already talked about the announcements twice on this episode, and there were a lot of them, I will run through them even faster this time. First announcement, I'm starting up my personal streams again. They're going to be on Mondays and Wednesdays starting this upcoming Monday. By the time you're seeing this on the VOD, that will have already passed. So Mondays and Wednesdays will be my personal streams here on this channel. And then Fridays will be D&Dorks. So that's not really a D&Dorks related stream. It's just more content for me. Watch it. I need money to pay my bills. Secondary announcement is the Crit Awards. Nominate us for things. We would really appreciate it if you do. There are specific categories that we're quote-unquote gunning for. You can find those on our TikTok. We did a video about it, but that's not something that we specifically have to sign up for. Nominate us for whatever you feel like we deserve. We would appreciate it very much. Hopefully that turns out good. Voting ends May 31st. May 31st is when nominations end. I don't know what the timetable is after that, but if we're nominated, then we'll deal with it when it happens. So that is the second announcement. Third announcement is that the D&Dorks next campaign, the sort of summer campaign, has been officially announced. It is Tales from Calor, the Golden Era. It is tied into the music of the fantastic Nathan Apollo. It is the return of the classic D&Dorks cast. Nathan is going to be DMing. I am going to be a player. I've also been working with Nathan for months on new mechanics for this. It's a lot higher production value. We're putting a ton of work into it. That first episode is going to air Friday, May 24th. Usual place, usual time. On May 10th, there will also be a preview thing for a Patreon reward that we have going up on our YouTube. More details about that as we get closer, though I did already say them earlier. That, I believe, is a quick overview of all the announcements that I have and we have for the show in general. As usual, I'll toss over to you guys so that you can plug things really quick. Nikhil, I'm sure you have a social media platform that you want to talk about.
Yeah, I'm on TikTok. I'm on Twitch now. I've been on Twitch for a while, actually, 6 months apparently, but I almost always forget to plug it. I stream on Tuesdays. I'm bad at it, but you can watch and it's fun. And then follow me on Instagram. I think I need 50 more fucking followers to hit 10K. We are so
Wasn't it
close.
20 last week?
No, it was almost. It was a little over 100, I think, last week.
I swear it was lower. Maybe you get whatever.
I know. I've been following it.
Fair enough.
No,
yeah. Why am I trying to correct you? I don't know what your Instagram following.
I need like 50-ish more people. So just do it. It's fine. It's fine. You don't even have to look at them.
I never use my Instagram, but surely I'm following you. It would be really embarrassing if I wasn't after all this time. So I'm going to check on live because it'll be funny if I'm wrong. Instagram.
Also, Jess, I want to say, Josie's post about the heretic thing, I have a comment on that has gotten me more likes than I think anything I've ever done on Instagram ever in my life. I get notifications every day that people are liking that comment. I'm like,
that post went insane viral.
That was a good
especially
post.
for Instagram. I liked it a lot. I'm gonna share your account on my story. We'll get you those 50 followers.
I am following.
I want that so badly
Thank
for you.
God. I got scared for a second because when I searched up your account, the first thing that came up was like followed by, and then a bunch of my mutuals, and it didn't say like I was following you first, and I was really worried, but apparently that's just what the Instagram interface is. I have been following you. Thank goodness. Anyone else want to plug stuff?
Yeah, I will be in Kalamazoo, Michigan for Grand Rapids Comic-Con Spring Fling, which doesn't happen in Grand Rapids. It's happening in Kalamazoo, but there's one later this year that happens in Grand Rapids. It's confusing, but anyway,
Then we have
Grand
one of those in
Rapids
Dallas, too.
Comic-Con in Kalamazoo, Michigan, tomorrow and Sunday. I will be there all day doing Q&As and meet and greets and stuff like that. So if you're in the area and you want to meet me, I'm going to be around. So come on out.
Cool.
Woo! Woo!
Mike and/or Jess.
Oh.
I feel like I have nothing new to promote, but everyone else had things to promote. So I'm going to follow me on Tumblr. Tumblr's still around. Pirate Princess
Ooh.
Jess there as well.
Hellish is it?
It's Tumblr. You know what you're getting into.
I
Mhm.
won't lie, I still use Tumblr, and
I
I
love
think
Tumblr.
it's swell.
I don't use Tumblr, but that's just because I don't use much social media personally. But like, it seems like one of the better options right now. I can't lie.
It is 100%
truly
my
just
favorite
does.
social media right now. I just pretend to be embarrassed about it because that seems to be the thing that we all do.
Yeah.
It's great.
You can also follow me on the socials. I actually hope I'll have a YouTube video up in the next week or so.
Ooh.
So we'll see
Woo!
about that.
What's your YouTube?
Stay
I
tuned.
subscribe to you on. I shouldn't follow you on my personal YouTube account. I don't want people knowing what that is, but I'll follow you on my fancy account.
Yeah, it's also Mike Funny Boy.
I will. Look
I
that up
have
later.
mostly just wrestling videos on there. The next video is a wrestling video. You're getting what you're getting into, but if you like me and what I talk about, then check it out.
Excellent. Now, as a final wrap up to this episode, I had talked at the beginning about how I was pretty sure I forgot something, and then I didn't forget anything for the episode. End card. I forgot to import the end card from my old computer, so we don't have one of those today. I knew there was something, but hey, better to forget the end card than anything else in the episode. The only thing that usually happens on the end card other than the little Catsby animation, which I can actually make a better one now because I have the ability to render animations on my PC. But the only thing that like matters statistically is just the next episode. So this episode will be up for Patreon this weekend. For everybody else on the 17th. Next episode of Minor Infractions is next week on the 19th. So there's your schedules. Everybody, thank you for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. And we will see you next week for the next episode.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Peace.